wife had to remind me.
go.
She was like, "Hey, make sure you thank everybody for the birthday wishes."
This new emblem flare I have on is from Warframe.
I was wondering what that flare was.
So,
yeah.
Just got to play
Nice.
Warframe for 15 minutes, and you'll
like
get this
it.
one. It's for
like
the new
it.
Jade Constellations expansion that just came out.
All right. Hawkslay3r is live in a camper in a storm right now, so we're going to see how that works out tonight. But
Well,
yeah, I see. What is that? Sangria?
nope, Cabernet.
There we go. Little red.
Well, it's empty now.
Well, it's all right. Well, you got to drink it still. I think we're good. I think we're ready to podcast. I think we're good to go here. Yeah, let's do this. All right, here we go.
Okay.
No, Jeep. No, Gemini. I don't want to do anything right now. Go away.
Yeah. People leave the Telesto alone.
No, if you touch this little tab at the bottom on your notes, on your, anyway, it pops up and says, "Hey, do you want to ask me something?" I'm like, "No, I don't want to ask you anything." All right. I think we're good.
Click it.
No, I do not.
Don't push the button.
Don't mess all kinds of stuff up. All right, here we go. 3, 2. Well, what's up, Guardians? Welcome to episode 361 of the Guardian Down Roundtable. In our podcast, we talk about topics and news that impact our gaming hobby, all while keeping the focus on our community. We're the podcast that invites a rotating list of guest co-hosts every week to join us at the table. We go live every Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern on my Todd the Gator YouTube and Twitch channels, as well as our Discord live stage. Hello, Discord. How's everybody? Once a month, we do invite a new member from our Discord to pull up a chair, and they share their story with us as well. We are a live video show with an audio version available every Monday morning, and I mean early, like 12:01 a.m. We love our live shows, but we love interacting with our live chat even more. So the reason we love to do live shows, we want to hear feedback from you guys in real time. And this one of these topics that I have tonight might be a little controversial tonight. I'm curious how everyone's gonna kind of perceive my take on this stuff, but we'll get into that. If you do want to watch our replays, they're available as well on my Twitch and YouTube channels as well. First, let's check in with my co-host from the great state of Utah. It's Mr. Kingsley Mack. How you doing, Mike? How you doing tonight, man?
Dylan, and I'm here and I'm ready to go.
All right. Thank you, sir. Well, let's introduce our guest co-host tonight. He's been a part of our community for over 3 years now. He's a gamer dad with 2 little boys now. One that just arrived, a few months ago, I think. Is it longer?
Oh, go ahead.
No, that's all right. How long's it been?
He's been here for a year.
What?
1 year and 2 months now.
All right, I feel old. I'm definitely old.
Just a year.
By the way, if you haven't heard his original interview with us, check out episode 166 back in September of 2022. I still remember the story of how he met his wife. Damn near had me in tears. So if you haven't already checked that episode out, definitely go back and listen to that interview. It was really good. He's back with us tonight on our joint birthday week. If you didn't know, we both have the same birthdays, June 17th. So we've actually had this planned for many months in advance. He's a very busy guy, and we are able to catch him one night only. So please welcome my birthday buddy. This is Hawkslay3r, everybody. How you been, man?
Thank you, guys. I've been doing great. And actually, we planned this back in January. And
You did.
I've already gone through 3 job changes, quit 2 different jobs, and went back to another job between now and then. So,
Oh, shit, man. That's crazy, man. Let me ask you first, though, before we get into our topics, how was your birthday yesterday, man? How'd you celebrate?
well, I didn't celebrate. I hosed at work for 10 hours, and then I turned around and I've been doing a side hustle where I've been cooking breakfast sandwiches. So,
Yeah.
basically, my birthday celebration was this last weekend. I went out and bought me a inshore fishing rod and reel,
Nice.
something that I've never had the luxury or the availability to buy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I basically dropped like $600 on a brand new rod and reel.
Nice. You got to teach those boys how to fish. So, come on. That's an expense. You should
Well,
write that off.
Well, here's the thing. Every other rod and reel that I have is like a Walmart special, Abu Garcia
Zebco.
combo.
Zebcos, right?
Dude, I have up until this last weekend, I have never spent more than 80 or $90 on a dadgum
Yeah.
rod and reel,
They
and
break so easily.
as a combo.
Yeah. I hear you, man. Believe me, I bought plenty of rod and reels for freshwater fishing at a Walmart. They got them nice and beautifully stacked up, on those rod holders up top, on the very top, and you just can't miss them when you're in the sporting goods department at Walmart. So it's pretty nice.
Exactly.
Yeah, I hear you, brother. I'm the same way. And I mean, I've had little casting Zebco 33s, man, and those things last forever. They're bulletproof. So for kids, it's perfect because you just press the button and let go. It's all you got to teach them, and then you get them into the spinning, and then you get them into the bait casting, and you work them up, you work them up into the more difficult stuff. Awesome, man. Well, I actually had to work for my birthday too. I was working most of the day and came home, and we went out to Kobe's and got some, oh my God, man. Hibachi dinners have gone up in price. I had a little sticker shock when I got there. I was like, I want some steak, chicken, and shrimp. It was $41. I was like, whoa. I remember when it was like 27. I thought that was expensive. $41, man. But it's my birthday. Do what I want. It's my birthday.
Heck yeah. I mean, you got to treat yourself every now and then. And for me, every time I go to the hibachi, you always got to have the sake. Always.
Oh, no, I don't do the sake.
No,
I usually do the Kirin. I usually do a Japanese beer or something. That's what my dad always gets too. He's kind of taught me into that. I usually get sushi too, but man, I couldn't afford it, man. $41, and I was paying for like 6 people. It was like $320 getting out of that place the other night. I was like, oh, crap.
Yeah, what are you paying for other people?
Well, I mean, they're my kids and my grandson, and they're.
So for your birthday, you have to spend a lot of money.
No, they paid my wife back, and she'd cash at me, so I didn't have to pay the full amount. So it's no big deal.
Gotcha.
I'm telling you, man, I'm going broke. All the birthday dinners. We're at the tail end, guys. It was started out with my daughters, then my mother's, then my wife's, then my son's, then mine. Am I missing somebody? Oh, my sister-in-law. Hers was in the middle there somewhere. My grandson's is this next week coming up, and then you got Father's Day. I'm just waiting for the storm to pass by so I can get on with life again. It's crazy. Anyway, well, here's what we're going to talk about tonight on the show. Pretty simple podcast tonight, pretty chill show. We're going to lead off with some positive stuff. Hawkslay3r wanted to give his take on the recent surge of players in the Destiny 2 game, and we'll talk about that. Then I am going to check in with This Week in Destiny, probably one of the very few left, and we'll talk about any relevant information in there. And then for the final topic, I want to talk about the rumored layoffs to Bungie and Xbox, by the way, and why I think that future development of games may be shifting right before our eyes. I'll explain what that means later in the show, but I'm sure it's going to spark some comments, I'm imagining. After which point we'll shift into our catch-up segment. Everyone will share their highlights of their week. Also, what's been going on since, we talked to Hawkslay3r last. We'll catch up with his life and see what he's been doing. And I have another new movie I saw at the theaters this week. I'll give my terse review of that. And then at the end of the show, if time allows, we'll answer questions from our community. So if you have a question for us, throw it in the podcast questions channel in our Discord right now. And by the time the end of the show rolls around, we might read it aloud live on the show. And remember, if you want to send us a voicemail or an email, it's guardiandowncast.com to find out more about that. So if everyone's ready, let's roll. All right, let's move on to. All right, Hawkslay, you ready? Let's get into it, man.
Let's go.
All right. All right. Well, Hawkslay3r, I know it's been a long time since we've seen you, man. And I know you probably don't play a lot of Destiny as much as you used to. A lot of people have fit that kind of bill, but Destiny 2's had a resurgence, man. It's really, it's crazy how a lot of players have come back, but you wanted to talk about that tonight. So floor is yours, sir.
So I have not been playing Destiny at all in the last probably 6 to 7 months because with constant traveling around, it's a hassle to bring that Xbox along with me. I've been trying to save up to go buy a Steam Deck, but I have a vacation coming up. Actually, next week I'm going to Panama City. But regardless, I'm still paying attention to everything going on. I I can't avoid it in my TikTok feed because anything Destiny that happens pops up, and I love the absolute pure motivation that's happening in the community right now. Like, everybody's banding together, everybody's bringing in their own individual stories. Even the voice actors are coming out of the daggum woodworks.
They are.
Really, the only one that I haven't heard from lately is Nathan Fillion, which
he did. No, he did one too.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he did one too. Yep.
Okay.
He did a really good one too.
I must have missed that one, and I'm very ashamed as a Hunter main. But honestly, everybody's giving off their own stories. Everybody's telling how Destiny brought them from a bad place in their life and it gave them a community to be a part of. And it kind of opened up new doors, as well as giving them a bit of a foundation to take a step in the right direction. And I'm seeing more and more and more of that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not just talking streamers. I'm just talking about everyday Joe Schmo players as well.
Yeah.
Because, granted, I'm very, very rarely on podcast anymore these days, but I don't consider myself a content creator by any stretch of the imagination. That's why I'm subscribed to all of your channels instead of mine.
Yeah. I got you. We got you.
But also, thanks to y'all's channels, I have created so many friends. I may not talk to them as much these days, but I do still consider everybody that I talk to my friend.
Yeah. Definitely, man.
So,
you know, I was
yeah.
I was looking at I got a Google announcement from Games Radar today. A lot of the ex-devs are speaking up from Bungie from their years of Destiny 2 making the game. And apparently a lot of people are in agreement that the environment at Bungie was toxic as hell. That seems to be the synopsis I'm getting, but they said the people they worked with was what kept them there, and the magic and beauty of working with these really talented people, these fellow developers in the studio, was really what made the magic happen, you know. And apparently everyone's pointing to Pete Parsons, that he was the one who really made, you know, I think the quote that they gave, that they put on the Games Radar article was, upper management forgot that we make games to have fun, you know, that people want to put, you know, their drip on, and that's fun to them in Destiny. They forgot why they made games. And apparently now this is a synopsis, of course, from Games Radar, but they basically were saying that a lot of the developers said that upper management just lost their way, and it became so toxic. They were more worried about how much to put out, when to put it out, you know, content, than it was to make fun games. And they said a lot of the dungeon and raid teams were really where they could kind of break the bones, they said, so to speak, where they could kind of go outside the norm and try to create something new and fun in the game, was the dungeon and raid crew that designed a lot of those raids and dungeons. So apparently, yeah, a lot of people were pointing to Pete Parsons, that he was the one who made it so toxic. And I don't know, man. I heard that, you know, a long time ago, that he was the last cheerleader of the game. I don't know who to believe anymore, man, but you gotta think these people don't have a vested interest in spreading any slander. They don't work at Bungie anymore. So what do you think about that, Kingsley? You think that's, who do we believe here,
obvious.
man?
It was Pete Parson back when people were still, not just him though.
Yeah.
But what, we're believing it now because more people are saying it. But yeah, I mean, it was obvious. Upper management was always kind of the issue, and a lot of people were just defending or head in the sand or things like that. And now we see what we get from many years of mismanagement and stuff. So, but this isn't just a Bungie issue. It happens at a lot of companies, happens at a lot of game studios. It doesn't happen in everyone. It doesn't have to be that way. Like I was mentioning the upper management at Digital Extremes, Warframe seems to be super awesome.
Yeah, seems to be.
So it doesn't have to be that way. It's kind of sad, but yeah, I heard a long time ago that Pete Parsons was an issue, and a lot of people are like, just because he bought a lot of cars doesn't mean he's a bad person. Look, it's not about that.
Yeah.
That's just one sign out of many. And when we're hearing this and we're hearing that, we're hearing all these things, then it's probably
true.
Statistically, it doesn't mean we know for sure, but statistically, it's likely true.
Unless we're flying the wall,
now
we really
people
don't
are
know.
actually starting to admit that's why Destiny went downhill, was because of management issues.
Well, it's too bad. And here's the crazy things I've been hearing, man. There's been a lot of drama in the Destinyverse this week. I've been following a lot of YouTubers, and yeah, I know sometimes it's an echo chamber. I get it, but I heard rumors that, and I've heard both sides of this. I've heard the first rumor I heard was that Sony was seeking revenge on the Destiny game and Bungie because they steered him wrong when it comes to games as a service. If you remember, I mean, if that is the case, when Concord was released, that was the start of the end of Bungie Studios. Because if you remember, a lot of ex-Bungie employees or ex-Destiny employees put a lot of time and effort into that game. And then when they released it and it flopped so badly, I'm wondering if, and it's hearsay, I don't know if it's true or not, but you makes you kind of wonder if that was already, strike one against Bungie. The fact that Concord was such a bad failure. And then of course, they're saying that they're saying that there's people in the PlayStation studios. Now, granted, PlayStation Studios is like 12,000 people, so we don't know if this is a majority or what, but there were some in the family of PlayStation Studios that were kind of perplexed why Sony was just flat out cutting the game, cutting it out, stopping development on it. And then that's where the rumor came through that Sony executives had a vendetta against Bungie because of the buyout and how they got fleeced, and they're seeking some kind of revenge. And that's why they're cold, just stopping the game. And I've even heard.
Yeah, that's not true. They already went past that. Today. Did you read the newer articles?
No, I've been working, man. Yeah. What's the latest? Bring me up to date.
So Tassie looked into it because this guy that said it was some French reporter guy who doesn't have any
that's
what's the word I'm looking for, like any
inside
proof
knowledge
behind his name yet, because you have people like Jason Schreier and Tassie that have always been right because they have true sources and things like that.
Okay.
And so when Tassie heard that, he talked to his sources and credibility. And that's not true, but it's so nuanced because look, what's the word revenge even mean? That can mean different things to different people. Tassie said he talked to someone high up in Bungie, and he says he can't name any names, but it's a very important person that we would know. And it's not true that Sony has a vendetta or revenge, but he says, practically speaking, it doesn't matter because still it's just a simple money business decision. And since Bungie wasn't doing good with the money, that's why they're stopping it. So it still doesn't matter really, because the word revenge is just an extreme word, and that's not what was happening.
Right.
They're not going to they don't have a revenge where they're going to necessarily shut down the studio tomorrow, or else they would have already done it. They haven't shut down the studio yet. So they're just saying the money is not doing good. You guys got to do better. We're going to cut employees and things like that. And, but the revenge word is not true. And then it doesn't also matter about people in PlayStation not understanding what's happening, because PlayStation is just a small division underneath Sony. Yeah. The people that are making the big decisions with Bungie is Sony corporate. It's not PlayStation. That's just
Tatoki.
Another little division.
Tatoki, I think his name is. Yeah. So just some comments in here.
Anyways, that's the latest. So Tassie. Yeah. Answered all that stuff today.
Yeah, I know Tassie has some really solid inside sources in the studio, so you have to believe a lot of what he's saying. Schreier, same thing. Yeah. The Doctor 3314. Happy birthday, by the way, man. Is it today? It's all about the money, Gator. Isn't Pete the guy who took funds from Bungie to buy cars? And he says buying cars doesn't make you bad. Laying off staff so you can buy cars does kind of make you bad. Yeah. Bungie has always had.
We don't know. Yeah. Yeah, we don't know if he took money from. That was probably money that was never going to Bungie anyways. That was just his cut. as CEO leadership stuff.
He owns stock in the company, and a lot of people cashed out.
So if you put it just from a logical point of view, I just like to be fair with everything. I still think he was the problem, but even if he didn't get that much money, it's not like that money would have gone to the employees anyways. They just would have spent less money.
Yeah.
It's just that CEOs luckily get all the money because they have all these golden parachute clauses and things like that.
Upper management.
Yep.
I mean,
but the fact of him just like buying a lot of cars and never being in the studio is what we were told. He would never actually like help with decisions. He was just like, haha, I'm here with all the money, but like I'm not helping anything out.
Yeah, he
those
seemed
are
to flaunt it.
signals, those are signs. And then hearing from employees and hearing from people, and then inside sources from people like Tassie and others that he just was like, even more so than some studios with you got to have bottom line and make decisions based on money, but like there are times where it goes too far, and his was clearly the one where it went too far.
Yeah, and Amazing Taco King reiterates, they've always had management problems. The track record shows that. Yeah,
and we always have. We've
talked about it. Yeah, I remember
even before Destiny.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there was when we first heard of the Sony buying Bungie, my thoughts went one of two directions. One, maybe Sony can actually make something happen here, because it seems like whoever's running Bungie right now is stalling out, needs help. I thought they would come in and help out and maybe send some help from other studios, to help Bungie out. My other fear on the opposite side of the spectrum is that Sony's going to dismantle Bungie over time, suck all the talent out of the studio, and it just disintegrates in thin air. And it seems like that might be what's going to be happening down the road. They're talking about.
Always happens when a parent company buys someone out that are being mismanaged.
Of course, more new management, new managers want their own people. I've been through that game so many times.
I think Sony has some blame in the equation, but if it was being run better beforehand, and it wasn't so much of a trickery then they would have had a better fighting chance of staying forward.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're getting away from Hawkslay3r's point.
Well, I was just going to go that direction. I was just going to go
Hawkslay3r. Yeah. I wanted to talk about some of the things you said. I think it's awesome. Unless you wanted to talk about this point some more. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just letting y'all roll on with the tangent because, quite frankly, I'm just along for the ride here.
I understand.
Well, and we can go on tangents too, but I still at least want to, for a little bit, loop back to your point because, not that we shouldn't go in tangents, but like it has been awesome, seeing people playing together and stuff like that, and it's not like this is golden panacea where it's going to be like perfect for like years on going forward. But I think at least what this is doing, even just from a practical standpoint, is this is like a nice kind of regrouping with friends here and there. Not everyone's come back, but at least probably a third to half of the people that have stepped away have come back, at least for a little bit. We need to seize these opportunities and play with friends and have cool opportunities while it's hot, you know what I mean? And it's such a cool thing that this has gotten kind of the community to come together, man.
The populator report numbers, 171,000 in the past hour, 280,000 basically in the last 24 hours peak, and 7 days, 335,218 players. That's a lot.
That is
kind of not in the whole history of Destiny, but
a
lot for these days. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to say, in the past, we've had numbers all the way up to the million.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. The good old days. Well, we've talked about this before, Hawkslay3r. Back in the good old days, there weren't as many games competing for your time. Now there's so many more games in the market now. I mean, just last year alone, think of all the great games that came out. And, here's Destiny still plodding along, with the same game. The Sony executives can fault Sony or fault Bungie for in the Destiny game for losing players, but Kingsley, you kind of nailed it. We're all waiting for content. When you don't produce content, how you expect the player base to stay where it is? Now, granted, Renegades didn't bring the numbers that they were hoping with that Star Wars crossover, DLC. And let's face it, Edge of Fate.
from a million miles away. We needed a D3 even back then.
Yeah.
You can have the best expansion ever on D2 and it still won't get the old numbers. You know what I mean?
Nope.
Yeah.
I mean, so the biggest frustration that I've seen inconsistent with all of Destiny 2 is that all the content that we've paid for, every DLC that we've paid for, like at a certain point, it's just been taken away. So we can't access all of that older content, but we can
Well, to be
access
clear,
all.
not only about 10% of it's taken away, maybe 20%.
Oh,
but yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Right. I mean, but the thing is, did we just pay for like a temporary access, like a
license,
like essentially a battle pass or something similar to that?
Yes, and the stuff that they took away was still around for a good 5 years before they took it away. But yes, unfortunately, that's when you play a live service game, there is no guarantee that any of the content will stick around. And
Right.
Some people even do worse than Bungie as far as taking stuff away. Some people do better. Again, Warframe, Division, games like that, they haven't really taken away anything. But it can happen. Yeah, when you read the licenses, it says, this is a license to play content, no guarantee, everything will stay for unlimited, amount of time. I mean, eventually, if servers get turned off too, that'd be the same situation. Then everything gets taken away.
Yeah, that's my biggest
fear. Because we rely on servers to play a game, and we won't get the whole discussion if that's good or bad right now. But like when you rely on that, then just for technical reasons alone, you have to have that licensing because, if something really bad happens, like the building blows up where all the servers are or something like, and then of course no one's going to be playing the content, and people can't complain and ask for their money back because, you agreed to that in the license.
Exactly.
Right. I mean, I wasn't saying in the slightest that they were in a breach of content or a breach of contract by any stretch of the imagination, because we only signed up for, if I'm correct, a temporary access. We did not actually buy ownership.
No games. You don't own any games anymore. Unfortunately, nope. You're buying access. You're buying a license to play them. You can look at all your stuff on your PS5 here and know that any of those games could go away tomorrow. And if you don't have an internet connection, you can't log into the server, then the game's virtually useless. It's no good to you. So,
yeah. Well, there are a lot of single player games that you don't necessarily need internet access to. Even the Sony thing, it was
there's
like
a
you
few
needed it once at the beginning, and then
that's what they said.
Yeah, but then you don't need it after the fact.
Right.
It's more just like the initial thing. Even back when you had discs, that wasn't permanent either. The disc breaks, you don't have the game anymore.
Yeah, that's true. That's true too.
So I still have a lot of my old disc, and I have it in my TV stand in my living room. Well, my kids have gotten this fun habit of grabbing all the boxes and the disc and just making a mess of things. Well, my son the other day got into my Destiny 2 case, ripped out the disc, and straight up yeeted it right at my wife's face about 10 feet away, like perfect Frisbee throw. I mean, I couldn't even be mad with him. Quite frankly, I was more proud than anything. I mean, not the fact that he was throwing it at my wife. That I was disappointed about. But the form and the execution was on point.
I hear you. Nice.
But I got to looking in all that stuff again after I was cleaning it up one day, and I found posters. I found DLC expansions. Actually, I found a House of Wolves expansion code, and I'm like,
good old
how
days.
long ago was that? Like 7 or 8 years ago?
Mm-hmm. Long time.
God.
This is the first DLC. See, I think when it was the second phase 2 of Destiny 1. It's like 2015, I think. Or late 2014 when that came out.
Right. God, I still remember whenever they brought in the public events and that's where they really incorporated random players all coming together to try to defeat the daggum spider tank, whatever the heck it's called.
Yeah.
But nowadays, we can solo that thing in about 5 minutes. Or
Sure.
actually, no, in about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So
we've gotten pretty powerful. That's for sure. Definitely.
Once again, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to read some comments in here. Amazing Taco King says they should have full-assed Halo Reach and renegotiated with Xbox for more independence instead of burning bridges. And the Doctor 3314 says if you went back to 2007 and told a Halo fan that Sony would buy Bungie, he would not take you seriously. This is such an odd timeline. Yeah, that is definitely the upside down right now. That is for sure. But out of everything that came out last year, I can't think of one that wasn't just a flash in the pan more than a couple months at most. Yeah, that's kind of the way. It's kind of the way it's been, for sure.
Yeah.
Also, this what I'm going to say here almost makes it sound again like Sony is being more petty, but again, just because it's a business decision. I don't think it's pettiness. It doesn't even matter if it's pettiness or business decision because the outcome's the same. But with all the stuff that's been going on with Bungie, with Destiny being the last update, Sony hasn't said anything on their socials, but Microsoft even said, "Once a Guardian, always a Guardian."
Yeah,
Microsoft said that.
And that
Microsoft and Xbox cares more about us now than Sony.
And that
does.
wasn't Phil Spencer, because we know Phil Spencer loved the game. But that wasn't Phil Spencer. He's no longer there. So it's somebody else. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well,
go ahead.
Well, I was just saying it's another true Guardian stepping up. And quite frankly, I want this game to live on. Let's be honest, Destiny 2, it's reaching its end times. And nothing lasts forever. And it hurts for me to say that because I have some of my best memories from Destiny 2, all the way from being in the massive gaming organizations that are like 20, 30,000 people strong, and then getting into these more niche communities such as Guardian Hub, Guardian Downcast, Two Titans and a Hunter. Like, quite frankly, I have enjoyed it more being a part of this Roundtable community than anything else, even whenever I was just playing solo by myself. Because I have created some of the best memories I can ever imagine. And I can just remember whenever we would have our scrims nights and daggum Gator would daggum murk me with a bow from across the map out of nowhere.
I'm not a big fan of bows, but they're a lot like sniper rifles. If you're good at, lining up your shots, they work just as well.
When you're on, you're on. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. But once you're on it, you're on it. I'm
so rusty right now. I don't know if I could last a match very long. I don't know how long I would last. But looking at some other comments here in the Discord chat, Scarlet Maddie says, I feel like when I started and signed up for the Prophecy Saga, I really wanted to see old Chicago, and they actually said whispers of it in Renegades. Yeah, that was supposed to be what was supposed to come out in Shattered. What was it? Shattered something. I can't remember what it's called now.
Yeah, the code name for the next expansion that we.
Yeah.
What was it? Like Shattered Throne or something like that?
No. Shattered Cycle. Thank you. But he says,
and they may have changed the name, but yeah, that was the name that was planned.
Yeah. And now he says, but no more Destiny, LOL. Sadly, we're just consumers who want things, and the consideration of game's health or what happens, it's not up to us. We just have to deal with the blowout, sadly. Yeah, it happens a lot too. And it's not the first, and it won't be the last time it happens in gaming as well. And Amazing Taco King says, yeah, you can, but the cloud servers only allow 100 megabyte of save data per title. So if you have to reset your PC or get a travel PC, then, saves don't transfer as far as keeping it, being able to play without it. Yeah. The Microsoft comment was even more depressing, frankly. Yeah. In the back of my mind, I thought, what if Sony offered the Destiny franchise to Microsoft, and it came home to Microsoft, which was, where Bungie started originally.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, they were independent originally.
Well, yes.
And then
they
they
bought their
Microsoft,
independence.
and then they went to Activision. I almost think Activision Blizzard would be better now than Microsoft.
Think so?
But
no, Microsoft owns them now.
But Microsoft would be an option too.
That would be interesting.
Well, their games are doing okay. I mean, Diablo, World of Warcraft, things like that. I mean,
long time games.
I mean, having better luck than Microsoft is.
World of Warcraft is still solid. It's a solid community, solid game. I've heard nothing but good things. That people still play it in our community.
I'm not saying Microsoft would be bad. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I know. So it depends on if it's Microsoft Studios or what it is. But I mean, just Microsoft buying it doesn't really mean anything. Yeah, we got to see what studio would actually help them out, because they can't have, no matter what, they just don't have enough employees, and they're going to be losing even more. But they don't have enough employees to. We've been saying this for years also when they started doing the other layoffs. It's not like it can't happen, but the way they built the game and the studio and everything, just not having enough employees to keep content going. Another reason why they should have started another game that hopefully had a tighter engine.
Yeah. I think the first thing they should do is they should remaster Destiny 1 for PC and next gen. I think
my God.
That would be the first step if they were trying to rebuild the franchise, but we've heard nothing about any of that. And sadly, it's been rumored that all of the Destiny side of Bungie will be laid off soon. I think we're just waiting for the other shoe to fall, really.
It's not a rumor. It's pretty much true.
But I've even heard this, Kingsley. I've heard that they're not even going to leave a small team behind to handle future bug fixes and stuff in the game. That whatever is bugged, it's bugged forever. Amen.
Well, yeah, after a few months, that makes sense. I mean,
I don't know.
We still have, they said we still have a couple more TWIDs. We'll probably have a couple more updates.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Destiny 1 didn't fix bugs forever afterwards, but it gets to a point where like the bugs aren't that,
they're not
isn't as big anymore.
And that's what they said. Unless it's game breaking, and if it is game breaking, they'll probably just disable that weapon or whatever's causing the game to break. That was from
Telesto.
That was from Bungie. I think they tweeted that out.
I guess you haven't played for a while. Telesto hasn't done anything for years.
It does have it does have a nice catalyst though. Don't.
But no, it hasn't done anything to break the game in
years. No, that's true. They've finally gotten under control. Yeah, that's true.
Well, that's why I keep calling it out so I can bring it back.
Yeah.
It's been so long. No one even uses. Everyone forgets about Telesto these days. Although there is a Triumph to do some Telesto kills.
There is. I saw it.
And we would have known if it had a bug by now, because people are pulling out a little bit again. But
Yep. Sen's right. It's back to the Triumphs, man. Getting the Triumphs completed.
Yep.
One more comment here. Scarlet Maddie says, I'm kind of with the YouTuber Danky at this point. If Sony doesn't plan to shut Bungie down, then why does it look like they're slowly killing Destiny and bleeding the studio till they're basically a part of Sony anyway? Would the point be just to keep Bungie alive in name alone? If that's the case, that's messed up, and I hope Sony doesn't think they're pulling the wool over anyone's eyes. Well, believe me, it's the internet, and nothing gets by people on the internet very long. That's for sure. It's hard to hide stuff like that. People will root it out.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter, I think, how it ends up, but I think obviously what the case is here is which we don't think there's a very high chance for this, but if they remove the employees on the Destiny side, then they're just, the reason why they're not shutting it down the rest of the way is because they've committed to a year of marathon. Yeah. And even though that probably won't work out, they're still doing it. And then that's when they would then shut the rest of the studio or put the employees somewhere else. Practically speaking, either way is about the same. Well, we don't want people to lose their jobs, of course. Mm-hmm. But if Marathon doesn't do good a year from now, and if something doesn't change where they have a change of heart and decide to put more money into it, then in a sense, that is the end.
And I didn't want tonight to be all doom and gloom about Destiny. I didn't mean it to go that direction. I for some reason I just went there because
it's data. It doesn't have to be doom and gloom.
Yeah, I know. It kind of ties into my topic tonight. But was there anything else you wanted to talk about, Hawkslay3r, about what you're seeing in Destiny these days, or You just wanting to comment about it, that you were loving seeing a lot of people coming back and starting to play that you haven't seen in a while.
Well, I mean, there was, of course, that seeing everybody coming back for one big good final hoorah, because
Yeah.
let's be honest, that's what it's turning out to be. But I don't see this as a goodbye. I see this as a celebration, as in we have had many, many good years of this game.
Yeah.
We have made so many friends, so many memories. God, I have so many game clips saved of just the pure shenanigans
Oh yeah.
coming up in this game, all the way from random bugs, glitches in the game, NPCs getting stuck in random crap that they shouldn't get stuck in, but they get stuck in it anyways. Uh, just amazing moments, epic fails on the jumping puzzles. I love and hate those at the same time. That's about the most toxic of a relationship that I can fathom.
Yeah.
And yeah, just yeah.
I hear you. I hear you,
Yeah,
man.
it's not goodbye. I've said this before and I'll
Yeah.
say it again. We people stick around in the Discord. You gotta, I mean, if you're gonna be the person that plays Destiny for 3 years from now with nothing new, that's fine also. But you probably want to look for other games and check out our other games channel.
Yeah.
Because this isn't a goodbye. Even if we're not playing Destiny together a year from now, we might, especially raids. But I mean, even if we're not, it's not a goodbye. We can play other games together. We can stay in the Discord. We have the Video Game Center channel and everything like that. So,
And
like you said, Hawkslay3r, it's not a goodbye. It's just a celebration right now, even though this game's not going to have any more updates.
And to add to your point, Kingsley, about the community, I had no idea that they were going to shut Bungie down when we changed it from Guardian Down Cast to the Guardian Down Roundtable. It's just,
it's Destiny. Bungie is not shut down.
Destiny. I mean, Destiny. I'm sorry, not Bungie. Not yet. Not yet.
I just wanted to clarify.
Not yet. Thank you for correcting me. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know Destiny was going to be just, they were going to just stop development.
It's not shut down. It's just,
they're just stopping. They're just stopping development on it, and it'll be like that. Well, I mean, it'll be like Destiny 1. You can go back and play Destiny 1 anytime.
Yeah, for now. Yep.
But I just had a feeling, and Kingsley and I were talking about the same things every week, and it was just like, man, I'm really tired of talking about this stuff. I want to talk about a lot of other things going on in the gaming industry, and I want to talk about other games we've been playing and stuff like that. And some people can be cynical and say, well, you're just jumping boat, you're just jumping ship because Destiny is going away. I said, dude, we changed our podcast format the first of the year. That's like a good 6 months before we knew anything about Destiny going away or not getting further updates. So
even if people change during then, it doesn't matter. Everyone can have their own motivations for why they make decisions.
And I got to thinking about that.
To be considered cynical or whatever. Yeah.
No, but I got thinking about that. We have built up such a great community over these 7 years, just about now. I didn't really want to just let that go. We spent 7 years having relationships with other gamers in here, and I still, like I said, I still love hearing people's stories that are in our community that have never been on our show before, and that's why we continue to do that. Hopefully every month if we can. But it's the kind of thing where, why would we just throw away a community that we took so long to build up just because a game that we all play is no longer going to be updated? I'm playing so many games now. I mean, it's unheard of for me, because that's all I did was I just played Destiny. That's what I'd always say. Oh, I just played Destiny. But I just feel like we have something good here, and I don't take that for granted. And granted, maybe the Destiny talk actually has been crazy the last couple of weeks. It's been, the Destiny channel's just on fire all the time, every time I look. But, when people go to the life channel and they post a picture of what's going on in their life, or they go to the pet channel and they show a picture of their pet and stuff. I love that stuff, man. I remember I did a Valentine's Day contest where show your before and afters, of your husband, your wife, mate, or, partner or whatever. Damn, I was in tears. I couldn't believe I actually had faces to all of these people that I talk to in this digital realm. And it just got really real, man. It got real that there's so many people in this community that I want to know more of. I want to talk to. I want to do more of. But, you know, I think you can agree with me, Kingsley. Most of our community are gamer moms and dads. I would think we're probably the older set of gamers, and we have some young ones in here as well. But for the most part, we're all gamer dads and gamer moms, or we're older gamers that just still love the game, still love to figure out puzzles and run raids and stuff. And that I connect to that, man. That's just so much fun. But anyway, I'll go off on a tangent if you let me. But
Yes,
but
you
yeah,
are.
I was trying to bring back the good feelings because I didn't want it to all be, Bungie's going away soon, be ready, and all that stuff. But speaking of Bungie, let us run over to look at this week in Destiny. It'll be very quick because there's not a whole lot in the TWAB this week. Thank God, no 71 pages of patch notes. Just yeah, the This Week in Destiny, the TWID. Yeah, I'll call it by what it's called since there's only a few more left. We'll do that right after this. All right, let me jump over to that. Oh, I see what I did here. I see what I did. Okay. I can actually see the chat in the thing tonight. That's nice. It's good. I'll be able to read it.
I'm not sad that the Twids are going away.
Yeah, but all right, let's just get this over with. Let's
There's
just pull
still
it
going to
in
be
now.
information on their socials.
Yeah.
I guess you could read those if you want on the shows.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
But you never did do that, so yeah.
No.
Twid, twab, twitty. Exactly, Sin.
I mean, I just did that just for comical purposes.
I know. All right, here we go.
Delicious.
This'll be quick. It's not a whole lot in it this week. All right, here we go. 3, 2. All right, This Week in Destiny for June 18th, 2026. This Week in Destiny, we're sharing the newest community challenge and its reward emblem, celebrating the release of Monument of Triumph soundtrack on streaming platforms and going over the previously shared update 9.701 in the patch notes you may have missed. So the community challenge we're talking about is called Excision, and it's using the Ergo Sum. We have one more community challenge ready for y'all, Guardians. It's time to relive one final battle against the Witness one more time. Complete the Excision story mission on normal or Grandmaster difficulty to add to a community goal of 250,000 total completions. Grandmaster completions will count 7-fold because Bungie number. Plus it's harder. Also, Excision on Grandmaster rewards the Ergo Sum Catalyst, a fine prize in its own right that some Guardians may not have yet obtained. That's me. It also has a chance to drop on normal activity too. So what better opportunity to earn it during a time of celebration when new and veteran players are enjoying Monument of Triumph. If the community goal is met in 7 days, sensing a theme here, all Guardians who have completed Excision at least once during the community challenge will receive the Intrepid Pearl emblem. Actually, it's pretty neat. It's pretty epic, actually. It's very plain, but it speaks volumes. Anyway, it's Bungie fans and old timers will tell you why this one is special. We'll share updates on all the community's progress on socials during the week. So there is that. They
said what better time? The better time would have been having it already last week.
Well, yeah,
because a lot of us already ran this Triumph.
Oh, did you?
Because this was a challenge to run that mission Excision.
I haven't done it
yet.
yet.
I got to run it again.
It's all right. I haven't done it yet. I need someone to run it with me.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do it before we do Pantheon this week. Maybe run a quick one. How long it takes, but maybe if we can get maybe.
It's not super long, but it's medium long, and that's why I just don't love running it over and over again. But
gotcha.
Yep.
Well, just some specs here. It starts actually today, June 18th at 11. It ends on June 25th. That's next Thursday, 11 a.m. Pacific. It's the Excision mission. Normal, like I said, counts once. Grandmaster counts 7 times. Fire team, you can have 12 players are recommended. Fire team members can join mid-activity. And if you do join in the middle of the activity, it will count toward a completion as well. And only fire team members who complete the activities will count as having contributed to the community goal and qualify for the emblem. Good luck, basically, is what they're saying there. The soundtrack is now the Monument of Triumph. Soundtrack is now streaming. They have a YouTube link here. You want to I listen to music at night because I have tinnitus. I have to have like earbuds in. And I was listening to the old Destiny soundtrack the other night, and it just brought back so many great memories, man. They have some killer wallpapers here, which I am going to be downloading these right away because I have some of the older wallpapers, like when the Traveler left Earth and was hovering above Earth in Earth's orbit. That's what I got on all of my monitors now, but this new one is really nice. It's really special. So yeah, and it's all in 4K, I'm sure. They probably have 4K and 1080 versions. Look really, really nice. We're not going to talk about any patch notes. Coming up, though, the featured raids are going to be Garden of Salvation and King's Fall. The featured dungeons are going to be Spire of the Watcher.
They are this week.
Oh, that's this week.
That's what it is.
Oh, Garden of Salvation, King's Fall, Spire of the Watcher, Pit of Heresy, dungeons, Birthplace of the Nile for Grandmaster, Vanguard Alert, and the Mint Retrograde will be the reward for that. Other than that, shit's broken, and God forbid that stuff isn't shit. Shit isn't broken well after they abandon this game. But there's some really cool art and stuff in here too. Check that out. Really great artists in our community. Oh my God, the Sparrow Racing artist. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. But anyway, 4 movies of the week. That's awesome. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for joining us for another twid. As a reminder, we're continuing to post twids through our launch window. Soon, our weekly blog entries will be entering a form of hibernation as well. Until then, though, we've been blown away by the love and support Guardians have shown for Monument of Triumph. This update was for you, and seeing all of the art and videos celebrating Destiny 2 has been heartwarming to us at the community team. Keep it coming. What have you been doing in Monument of Triumph? What are your goals, newest builds, or triumphs you're aiming for? We'd love to hear about them. Destiny 2 community team. Thank you, Destiny 2 community team, for yet another weekly communication with us. Thank you as always. All right. Our last topic of the night's coming right up. All right. Let me get that drawn up here. I'm really curious. This topic may get some booze from the maybe. I don't know. We're going to find out. I've been doing a little research on this, so we'll have to find out here. Okay. I think we're ready. Let's do this. All right. For the final topic tonight, I wanted to bring up, we talked about the sad news that Sony is rumored to be laying off 50% of the Bungie staff, and mainly everyone working on the Destiny side of the studio. Also, to add some extra kindling to the fire, it's also been rumored that certain studios are in negotiations with Xbox leadership, led by Asha Sharma, who will decide their future as well. Asha Sharma has been publicly stating that a reset, quote unquote, is needed to get things back on track. It's just an all-around great news week, isn't it? Well, after I heard all this doom and gloom, I did a little digging into the possible futures of the gaming industry, and I've heard many things that I want to share with you guys tonight. I really wanted to open this up to the live chat and to the community. If you're listening to this after the fact, we have our GDC feedback channel in our Discord. We really want to hear what you guys think about all this. But first, there's been a lot of talk about how large video game publishers are going to produce AAA games in the next 3 to 5 years and beyond. The trend I'm hearing is that large AAA studios will begin laying off more and more permanent staff. The argument being that it's just too expensive to retain employees, especially the studios in higher rent cities like LA and Washington State, as an example. Publisher has mentioned that it costs around $20,000 a month per employee to retain them via their salaries and all their overhead expenses. I've even heard some info, speaking of Sony here, that Sony plans on using more generative AI to do more of the repetitive development task, meaning less developers needed as well. So the grand fix, according to these large studios, is to keep a small core of creative talent and then use contractors for everything else, especially contractors in cheaper parts of the world like Poland and Southeast Asia. Here's the thing. I see 2 problems with this formula. First, I'm a little worried that parts of the game that are contracted out may kind of start creating lower quality games. In other words, the games may look and feel very fragmented. The art department, the audio team, the writers, they may be so independent of each other and not communicating with each other like an established studio would, that the game may not kind of feel like a superior product, like Destiny and Arc Raiders comes to mind. You guys can drink. The visuals, the sound alone are just fantastic. So almost like one hand kind of knew what the other was doing when they're putting it all together, right? I'm just curious, how would a contracted out game look without a dedicated staff in place to keep all the parts integrated into that quality metric that they're trying to meet? The second problem I see here is losing very knowledgeable veteran game designers in the field because of this strategy of basically finding the cheapest labor out there to contract all this development work. When veteran employees are laid off or replaced by these temporary workers, studios lose historical knowledge. They lose the chemistry that's required to build great games back to back. Now, Hollywood has been using this system for ages when they produce or make a movie. It's a gig or contract model, meaning once the movie's done, the job is done. See you later. But there's one big difference with Hollywood studios versus gaming studios. Hollywood is built on a century of union protections for the worker. The gaming industry doesn't have any of that. There's no safeguard for the workers. That means the final problem with making games this way is that it's a race to the bottom, where devs lack any safety nets and management holds all the leverage. Sound familiar? So what do you guys think about this new proposed direction of game development? Do you see this being the way that the Western studios are making games right now, or going into the future? Are the layoffs just beginning? Are we in a flux right now? Are we in a transition period where there's going to be more small teams that actually like create a core of the game, the ideas and the maybe even the lore and stuff of each game, and then everything else is just contracted out? I mean, there's no secret that even Bungie has done contract work. They have contractors that do stuff for them to help them meet their schedules. But what if the entire game was contracted out? What do you guys think of that?
So as for me, I'm a construction contractor overall. I'm constantly working myself out of a job, and the level of communication that goes on throughout the entire job, all the way from the plant manager all the way down to the fire watches, is obscene to say the less. It is grotesque and frustrating to a monumental scale that I cannot begin to actually fathom unless if you have been in the trade yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So, as of right now, I'm currently down in Alabama and I'm currently building an aluminum mill. Well, the specific structure that I'm working on, uh, the representatives that are overseeing the entire project
Mm-hmm.
are Japanese.
Okay.
They're native Japanese, so they do not speak very good English.
Oh boy.
However, we uh, one of the guys, he and we've been kind of conversating back and forth, and he's been kind of helping me learn Japanese, and I've been helping him learn a little bit of English. So we've been working back and forth on that.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the southern ill-tempered foremans out here do not have the patience that you and I would have with that.
I was just thinking that.
Because whenever they try to speak slower, thinking that that's going to change the outcome of
Yeah.
the comprehension of the opposite language, that's not going to make a difference. He's not going to know what you're saying, regardless of if you don't understand it, you don't understand it.
Yeah.
And I have had so much rework I've had to do,
Mm-hmm.
and the biggest flaw in my industry, granted, when you're developing video games, you're not dealing with life or death situations. Well, as for me, if I make one crucial mistake, I am I work one of the few occupations where you can actually go to jail for vehicular manslaughter.
Wow.
So I have to do my job right every single time. And if I do make any errors, which I do make errors from time to time,
Mm-hmm.
I have to mitigate those in a way to where it's not going to cause any bodily harm and minimize the property damage as little as possible.
Right.
Which, knocking on wood here, I have never dropped anything in the 8 years that I've been doing this.
Mm-hmm.
But circling back to the point at hand here, I am constantly working myself out of a job. As I go to develop these structures and as I go to build things the way that they need to be built, I am completely working myself out of this job, and I'm fully understanding that I'm never going to retire from any of these places
Mm.
because even as of right now, I am probably months away from a layoff. So I have to prepare to go and find the next job.
No.
I don't want to see that turn into the video game world. Bungie overall, I don't want to see that as like a staffing agency or a contracting agency because just like you said, you're going to get those old timers that have learned, that have tried and true the tricks of the trade. They have learned what works and what doesn't. And if you start cycling the old timers out with the new kids that are coming in, the new kids are going to have to learn everything. They're going to have growing pains. They're going to have to figure out what
I hear you.
yeah, sorry, my wife is calling me, but I've already told her I was doing all this.
You cut out for a split second, but you're good. We hear you.
Yeah, my bad on that.
Sorry, man.
But still, it's going to be the biggest thing is going to be the language barriers. Whenever you start getting contractors in from different countries and all that, because you're going to get people from Sweden and other places like that that come in. You're going to have 3 or 4 different countries come in.
She's calling again. We got you.
Well, should I just go?
Sorry about that.
You're going to have all these contractors coming in from different we were talking about that.
Yes, you have all these contractors coming in from different areas, and you're going to have these language barriers. Give me like 2 seconds. Let me
go ahead, Kingsley. Kingsley, go ahead. I want to hear your take, Kingsley.
Well, of course, you had multiple questions in there again, so I'll go through the whole list.
Okay. I forget you break down everything piece by piece. I'm sorry about that.
Well, yeah, because if you're going to bring up all the points, we want to talk about it.
Well, my topics are scattershot. I'm just throwing stuff on the wall and seeing what people think about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So on the point, is it new that we're going to be getting more layoffs? No, I've been saying this for a while. Remember, I keep saying we're going to have less video games coming up.
Yeah, you did. Mm-hmm.
That's one of the reasons, is because I've been seeing the writing on the wall with layoffs. Now, I'm not talking about if that's right or wrong yet or what we should do. I'm just talking about what's going to happen. And because we're having a lot of layoffs coming up, we're going to have less video games, mostly in the AAA side. But there will be less for I don't know, a year to 2 period time than what we could have. So yes, that's obviously happening. And yes, also there will be more offshore game development. We also see this with the EA thing and doing development over in Saudi Arabia and India and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And but also just on that point first, offshore stuff doesn't necessarily mean the quality is bad. I know you sometimes joke a lot like these cameras are made in China or whatever. There's a huge difference on like good quality. You can get really crappy quality stuff and you can get really good quality stuff.
That's true.
Even if it's offshore.
Price points.
Apple makes their products offshore and they're really high quality stuff.
That's true.
So it really just depends on what you're going for. It depends on what the overall company, if they're going for a cheap build quality or if they're going for a high build quality. And the same thing will happen in game development.
Okay.
The answer is it depends. You can have contractors, you can have offshore development that works okay. Ubisoft's shown this with Division. They used sub studios in I think it was Bulgaria, Romania, or something like that.
Really?
Interesting places that they've been using that to a benefit, and it's the quality is there as long as you have QA people at the master company kind of like put it all together. It doesn't mean that just because you're having contractors and offshore development that the quality is going to go down. It can work. So it really, the answer is it depends.
Okay.
If it'll work good or not. Now, should we do this? I'll get to that point now. Well, that's an interesting one. I also obviously agree with everyone, like in the chat comments and stuff, that you don't ever want to see that. It ideally should never happen for people that have jobs in the first place, right? Working for studios here or whatever. If you're spinning up a new studio or you're trying to grow a studio, then it makes a lot more sense. Use contractors, use offshore development, stuff like that. It just sucks when you see the people that already had a job and then they're losing it because of reasons like that. And that happens in any kind of capitalistic society, whatever it happens. It sucks. It's I wish it doesn't happen, but it does. So yeah, those are just my points on all those things.
Did you want to finish on your point, Hawkslay3r? You were talking about contractors coming in. There's a language barrier. By the way, I wanted to ask you,
okay,
since you are a contract worker, you are part of a union though, right? You are protected, or are you a freelance?
I'm a freelance. I'm not part of a union as of right now. I plan on changing that here in the near future, which will allow me to be at home more often because as of right now, I'm 8 hours from the house.
Okay.
And my wife is kind of worried sick because I have a tornado warning right above my head.
Yep. You're telling me about that. She's worried about you, man. She's worried about you. It's good wife.
I know. She's concerned for all the right reasons, and I never try to down her for it.
Sure.
But she sometimes misinterprets my short answers for lack of empathy or lack of caring, simply because I'm you and I, we were probably very similar. I like to get to the point. I like to say what I need to say and move on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But anyways, getting back to the point. So the biggest fear that I have whenever it comes to contracting is that the vetting process is not as intricate as if you were hiring on somebody full time.
It isn't. I mean,
it can be though. Apple's done a good job with it.
Amazing Taco King brought this up. He says contractors are more expensive in tech sectors. I mean, aren't they? Here's the thing. When you don't have to have a full-time employee, all you have to do is 1099 the freelance contractor. That means you don't have to take any taxes out. You don't have to pay Social Security taxes on top of that. Also, you don't have to provide any benefits, no health insurance, nothing. You don't have to provide anything. You literally are paying them for their work. And sometimes it means they get paid more because they're taking the risk because they don't get those solid benefits or those protections. But trust me, if my industry in the pest management industry, we're not allowed to subcontract work out. We have to either have employees or we do it ourselves. And we have to carry an ID card on every employee. I mean, they really regulate this stuff. So it would be awesome for me to say, hey, listen, I know you're working for Massey Services right now, but what if you just took off a Tuesday every week and just cranked out some lawns for me? I'll pay you this much. I wish I could do that, but I can't. But what I wanted to ask you, Hawkslay3r, since you do contract work, do you think it's more efficient or is it less efficient? Because you just mentioned to me that sometimes you have to go back and rework stuff. What do you, is it, you think contracting is more efficient or do you think it's just an expensive mess?
Well, okay. It depends on which area you're working in because in terms of creating a video game, there are so many different elements to it, such as the audio, the music making,
a lot of parts,
the graphics, the artwork,
the writing,
the mechanics, the writing. And there are so many different elements that come into that. And essentially how it needs to be structured. Of course, you need to have the core main company right there centralized around everything. And then from there, you need to have everything branching off from there. You need to have your supervisors over each and every category that you hold in the highest priority. I mean, and then after that, they need to have their core team, which is also in-house. Those right there are what you would consider your general foremans in the blue collar world. And then from there, that's where you would start the outsourcing and the contracting aspect. Yes, they would be doing a lot of the work, but you would have multiple levels of authorization before you finally get to the finished product.
Yeah.
So by doing that, by having multiple authorizations and multiple eyes looking over the work will hopefully mitigate a lot of the double working because the guys in-house know what to look for. But that goes back to what we were saying about how we need to keep the old timers around for that, or at least have the old timers properly mentor people.
And an advisory role.
Because yes, because I wouldn't be where I am if I didn't have these old salty crane operators out here yelling and throwing things at me, especially whenever I was standing up on the iron 30, 40 feet in the air, and these guys are chunking nuts and bolts at me, just out of kicks and giggles, and they're having the time of their lives. And I'm over here looking down, and I'm like, I'm going to be in danger if I fall. Actually, I'm going to be a little bit past danger, but I digress from that subject. But still, it's those old timers that have been doing it for like 5, 10, 15, 20 years that have developed all these little tricks of the trade, and they will watch you fail a couple times, and you're like, hey, what do I do about this? He's like, hey, try this, this, and this. And you're like, that makes a lot more sense than what I was originally thinking. And especially whenever it comes to coding, there are so many tricks of the trade that, I mean, there's a reason why all that's called a language, because that in it of itself is a language. It's a whole different structure than anything else. I've tried to learn it. I have failed miserably, primarily because I didn't have the time and the energy to actually properly devote into it.
Okay. All right.
But
I would, yeah,
go ahead.
Go for it. I just wanted to add on to the conversation too about the question about contracting. I thought you were done. Sorry.
Oh, no. I'm just rambling at some point. If you want to add something to it, have at it.
Yeah, I'm a contractor too. In all intents and purposes, every company I work for considers me a contractor, even though I don't really see it in my eyes, but technically it's the case. And again, I think what you were trying to say, but what I again highly agree, Todd, the answer is it depends. Contract work can be less effective or it can be more effective. It really just depends.
Okay.
And remember, Expedition 33 was made by mostly contractors.
Okay.
They had a small team of like 33 developers.
Yes, they did.
And 80% of the people in the credits and a lot of the work in the game was done by contractors.
I did not know that.
That game turned out excellent.
I didn't know it was. I thought it was just 33 people making it. That's amazing.
No,
Okay.
I told you that before, but
that's the core nucleus that we're talking about, right? The core team.
200 people in the credits of different contractors.
Okay.
And stuff like that. But
Wow.
33 was the internal company. Yeah. Or whatever, how many people.
Right.
I don't know if it was 33 people.
I got you.
That because of the name, but it was a small amount.
I got you.
So again, and I guarantee in my situation, but I'm an expert in what I do, especially doing this for 20 years now, but I guarantee my contract work is way more efficient than most in-house employees, how they do IT stuff.
Okay.
So, and a lot of companies see that too. They realize that. But again, that's back to that it depends answer.
That's a big question mark.
It depends on the experience. It depends on what you're helping with. It depends on what they expect from a contractor versus what they expect from. It's a whole big discussion that could go for like hours and hours.
Sure.
I don't think you can say one way or the other that it would be all good or all bad. It just really kind of depends.
I want to read some comments in the Discord here because we have some really good comments. Amazing Taco King. Contractors, I mean, unless providing benefits is that much more than average 300 to 500% increase in hourly salaries, then maybe it is more expensive in his eyes. Scarlet Maddie, game developers definitely deserve work security. If you have a paying job, that you went to school for. It should be a given. Jesus, it's 2026 and we're still learning how to treat our workers. Crazy. Deadpool and Merc, I hate layoffs. I was laid off from my school job recently, dude. Seriously? Amazing Taco King again says maybe development contractors will be less. I don't know, but the IT contractors I know average 100 or 200 an hour. If you ask them to assist with anything, it was a minimum charge of 2 hours for those hours, and then 1 hour increments for each hour they work past that 2 hour. Yeah, Kingsley.
I could talk about that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think it really just, again, it depends.
Okay.
Yes, I'll charge even sometimes like 175 an hour, but it depends on how much they need you.
Yeah.
It's still, to most of my companies, I'm still cheaper than a hired employee because I don't work for them 40 hours, 8 hours a week.
It's still worth it, right?
5 days a week. So yes, my hourly rate's a lot higher, but they're paying me less than they pay an employee. But that's not always the case too. It can really just depend.
Yeah, but like I said, because you're getting 1099, you don't have any benefits. We don't have to, the company owner doesn't have to pay your Social Security, which is 7.5% with the match, which we're taking out, but we don't have to do that. We don't have to worry about taking any payroll out. I mean, it's so much simpler to subcontract out stuff. All Thumbs says, in my opinion, there really is no job security anymore. A machinist for 40 years, and I could still be fired or laid off at any time. I hear you, man. I hear you, Ron. First world problems with third world solutions. Well, EA being offshore to Saudi Arabia isn't shocking. Didn't a Crown Prince and Jared Kushner's finance firm just purchase them? Well, I'm not going to go down that road. Amazing
that's what I
Taco
was
King.
talking about.
Yeah. Hey, Hawkslay3r, I got a tornado warnings here too in Georgia too. Small world. Deadpool said, yeah, recently I had Geek Squad in my back pocket, just getting more hours there. I hear you, man. I'm sorry to hear about your job loss, man. I know you were just talking about it in the last show you were on, that you were working for a school doing all kinds of odds and ends for him. Here's the thing, though. Let me throw this out here. While the West is in chaos right now and in flux, or in maybe the word being, just there's no security in anybody's job, the Eastern developers are doing just the opposite right now. Japanese studios like Capcom and Nintendo, they're actually increasing their employee compensation, and their goal is to do whatever it takes to retain those veteran game designers. Because of that, they're producing not only consistent games, but games that are killing it out there. So maybe what we might be seeing down the road is more games coming from the East, like China, Japan, and South Korea, or even India, like you mentioned, Kingsley. While Western developers maybe to continue to make games in a more volatile environment, and maybe down the road they may not be able to compete. I'll give you a case in point here. We can all relate to that living in the United States. Where did manufacturing go in America? I know the president's mentioned he's going to bring manufacturing back to America. And I mean, every politician, I think, has said that when they're trying to get elected for office. We basically let all of our manufacturing jobs go overseas. Why? Because companies saw it was so much cheaper. They were contracting out all of the work out of the country. And then what happens? We become reliant on these countries for our manufacturing, for our goods. I'll give you another example. Shipbuilding in the United States. China is putting out one cargo ship a day. You know how many the United States is putting out right now? Maybe one a year. That's how far behind we are right now. If China tomorrow decided, you got to send a ship to us, we're not going to send it to you anymore. We got no ships. We got nothing to send to them. So we're in a very volatile position here. We're very reliant on other countries for our goods, for our stuff that we need to survive, or things that we want to consume in this world. Whereas if you relate this back to the gaming industry, what might happen is a lot of these US or Western, it could be Canada, it could be all these studios that are making games, they might have to be doing the same thing. They might have to rely on all the Eastern countries out there to produce video games in the future. I don't know. It just worries me, man. I don't know if we'll be able to, in the West, if we'll be able to compete with that down the road, if we start worrying about making things cheaper as far as studios. And I understand gaming budgets are way crazy right now. I mean, it's as much, I think they said 007 was $200 million to make. That's as much as a 007 movie. honestly, and about the same amount of time. So there's a lot of risk now when you make a $200 video game, the same risk of making a $200 million James Bond movie. It could flop. You may not sell enough tickets. You may not get enough sales or licensing fees from Netflix or whatever it may be to pay back even your principal of what you put into the game or into the movie. Same thing with the gaming studios. I understand it's expensive to make games today, especially when interest rates are higher and money's not free anymore like it was during the COVID years. But I don't know, man, there's got to be some happy medium here. And when I started digging into this area and started realizing that a lot more teams are wanting to just contract it out. I don't know, man. I just don't know what that means, man. I feel we've lost a lot of our purchasing power and a lot of our buying power because we've outsourced all of our jobs. And I'm worried this might happen to the gaming industry as well. I mean, Wukong might have just been the tip of the iceberg, being a wholly Chinese made game. And I mean, look at Destiny Rising, fully made by Tencent. Bungie had nothing to do with that game other than they got $100 million to license it to them. So I don't know. I figured it was worth bringing up this week, being with all the layoff talk and all the drama with Sony purposely trying to destroy Bungie or the Destiny game or whatever. And it just got me thinking, this is what happens. I'll start spiraling about some things I hear in the news, and I'll just start putting two and two together, and then I'll just start researching it out. And that's when I come up with stories like this. So did you want to mention something, Casey?
Well, yeah, because you brought up some more points at the end.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
Now is our chance to respond to those.
Go for it. I'm sorry. Yeah. Welcome to my TED Talk. No comments. Thank you. No notes.
No, all the comments.
I do kind of have an opinion on a blend of onshore versus offshore. I mean, I don't know what a magic number is, but I do want to push back on one point first, that even if, a lot of things are being developed over in Asia or whatever, but they get a lot from us too. Japan imports tons from us. So it's just not the industries you're talking about right now. Like obviously like electronics and video games and technology stuff like that, and China manufacturing, but maybe not China so much, but I promise Japan.
Oh, in the 80s, Japan dominated on electronics. They killed us.
Yes, but I'm just saying overall, Japan imports a lot too. So it's not just we're giving everything to them. Or sorry, they're but yeah, you obviously look, unless companies here are willing to take less profits at the top or pay people less and people agree to that, or there's no one else to outsource to, then that's really the only fail-safe way that will keep more stuff here. Okay, there has to be something where people agree to keep people here. I think it's smart to have a blend. You don't want to have all video game development offshore. You don't want to have
all your eggs in one basket.
You can have all video game development onshore. I guess that's a selfish, fine thing to do, but I don't know if selfish is the right word, but you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I think it's good to have a blend. So I don't want to see like all development go offshore for sure. I want to see kind of a blend where like you have like these boutique studios that are doing really good job development in the US. And then you have the big companies that only care about the bottom line. They're probably going to do offshore because they want the cheapest things. Maybe that'll work out, maybe it won't. It's kind of interesting when people see it both ways. They're like, well, we need to have more stuff in the United States, but then the people at the top of those companies want to save money. It's like, you can't have it
They
both
get
ways.
used to that lower labor cost too.
So, yeah.
It's a nice line item.
We got to figure that stuff out. But yeah, I'm okay as long as there's a blend of, you know, onshore and offshore.
You don't want to obviously you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. I mean, that's never a safe bet. You always want to diversify and spread things out a little bit. I mean, that just goes without saying. But Hawkslay, did you have any comment on any of this information?
So essentially, the biggest thing that I can see them doing is trying to task out more of the mundane, more of the mind-numbing task to the offshore stuff, and essentially have the onshore create the foundation, have the offshore build up most of the body, and then it's going to be it's going to be going back and forth, just like Kingsley said. You got to have a balance because you got to have a checks and balances system where you have onshore create the idea, create the project, tell them what they want, and then the offshore then starts building it up. Then after that, onshore comes back in, fine tunes it, cleans it up, gets it the way that they want, molds it into the exact picture that they want. And then at that point, then they start filling in all the blanks, all the gaps, all the missing areas. And then it's just layer after layer, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then eventually you have the monument that you were building on. However, it's going to be a significant time. However, you're going to have the same thing if you go completely onshore. The biggest perk to being offshore is that you open up a larger array of talent opportunities because America is an amazing country whenever it comes to, I mean, talent on just about every forefront. But whenever you open it up to the world, the old saying, you're always going to find somebody that does something better, or you're always going to find somebody who's better at your task than you. That completely gets blown out of the water because you're going to find 10 people that are better than you.
Okay. All right, good point. Good point. Just going before we move on here. Altham says, yes, exactly, Todd. In my industry, people make stuff for need that needs to be made in the U.S. Think military, aerospace, etc. That is our saving grace. We don't see a lot of slowdown like other industries. Amazing Taco King. I think the manufacturing outside the States stems from more the fact that most of those cheaper countries don't have as many protection agencies and labor laws. That's true too. And then Scarlet Maddie says, God, if that Wukong thing is true, I'll be so excited. I know we're getting another Wukong style game. Yes, a follow-up, but a different character and story. It's coming 2029. But yes, the Chinese are very skilled and make some beautiful games. The thing the Chinese have really done well is they're very good at taking an idea and running with it. They may not be the originator of the idea, but they can definitely grab an idea and multiply it. That seems to be one of their strengths, is that they can take a concept and really run with it. So anyway,
Destiny Horizon's a very good game.
It is. Yeah. Voice lines, everything are not too bad, and they have clan housing. They have a lot of lines. Well, they have a lot of things that Destiny needed to add, like clan housing. But I meant,
the overall structure of the game is really good. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. If some
of the voice lines are a little
weird. They made it for console, I might consider playing it. But I just don't want to use emulators and stuff. I don't want to have to go around that song and dance. I'm just very stubborn in my ways. Big
song and dance.
I know. I'm just very stubborn in my ways. And
yeah. But I just say that in case you're making people think it's a big song and dance. It's not, people. It works pretty easy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Ignore the old guy. All right, let's move on. Hey, let's lighten up the topic a little bit here. Let's catch up and find out what everybody's been up to these days. Be right back. All right, let us jump into. We're gonna start with you. We're gonna start with you, Hawkslay3r. Let's catch up, man. Let's see what you've been doing in your life since. You already told me you've had 3 or 4 different jobs, man. Geez, I didn't even know that. I thought you were still working on barges. Last time we talked.
Oh no!
Fill us in, man.
Dude, okay. Let me know when you want to start.
Yeah, I'll get it. I'll start us up here. Here we go. All right. Well, let's get into catching up here. I always like saving this to the last because we're not under time constraints and we can just kind of let our hair down and what little bit of hair I got left, and then and just chill. Just chill out and have a good time. And Hawkslay3r, last time I talked to you, you were working on barges in the river. What the hell? What other jobs have you had now?
Dude, I have worked all the way from oil refineries to chemical plants to HRSG units, which a HRSG is essentially a gigantic radiator that's about 250 feet tall, at least. Right now, I'm working at a massive aluminum mill. I've helped build data centers. I've helped build cooling stations for nuclear facilities.
Jeez.
I go all over the place, and I just go to where the money is.
There you,
Like
man.
I've built my network up. I have operators and foremen, superintendents. I have people call me and they just say, "Hey, do you want to come here? We're offering this, this, and this. Here's the hourly rate. Here's how many hours we're working. Here's how long this job is supposed to last."
Mhm.
And I have a very finite array of questions that I need to ask before I can start signing papers and all that. And uh, but just in the last, let's say, year and 3 months, in the last year and 3 months, last April, my wife and I, we bought our first house.
Nice.
We were very, very excited about that. And then also in April, my second son, Brooks, was born. And then around in September, my car finally died on me. Daggum Hyundai, I finally did her in.
Hyundai, South Korean, man.
And then finally, I decided, instead of going for something subpar, I was like, if I'm going to make payments on it, I might as well make it worth it. And I went and got me the Chevy truck that I wanted.
Nice, good for you, man. You work hard, man. You know, it's cool to
Yeah.
have a nice vehicle.
In the last 35 days, I have had the day before Memorial Day off, and then I had June 14th off. And then those are the only 2 days I've had off in between.
That's why we
all that.
That's why we planned this months in advance. We had to figure out a time that would work for all of us, and that's why it worked out tonight.
Well, luckily for me, I work during the day, so
yeah,
I start at 5:30 in the morning, and then I get off at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I have plenty of time. And then today we just happened to get rained out, or in this case, tornadoed out, because we got tornadoes. And I've been praying and hoping this entire time that that this little camper I'm in doesn't get swept away by a tornado.
I see the lightning in the background there in the window. I just saw it flash. Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you angle your phone just up just a hair, man? Your head's getting cut off just a little bit. Yeah, I know. I realize it might hit the light. That's okay. Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect, dude. But but you know, you said you're building your network up, but you're also building a skill base up, man. All this experience you're getting working on nuclear sites and oil rigs and chemical plants and stuff. I mean, aren't you building up a good skill set of experience?
Yes, that does come into a huge play. But essentially, my job is very, very simple. The core concept of my job is I pick things up, I rotate it, spin it, orientate it the way that they need to do in air, swing it, set it down, and I'm done.
Okay.
I don't have. I just have to make sure nothing gets damaged while I am in control of it. And after I set it down, that is my biggest concern of what I have. However, this is my last year rigging. I'm getting my certs to go hop in the seat of the crane and start running that.
Nice.
There's no requirement on when you can do that, because back in the day, you actually had to have a certain amount of seat time documented before you could start running cranes. Nowadays, with you having zero experience, you can go take a class, go get your certs, and you can start running cranes as soon as next month.
That's scary.
You wanted.
That's scary.
That is very scary. However, supervisors nowadays, as well as riggers themselves, are very, very conscious to risk like that. Like, even, let's say, probably about 3 weeks ago, I was working out in the laydown yard. I had an operator who was running a 35-ton Tadano RT, which is the crane with the big tires on it. He was scoped out. I think the tip of it, his radius. So whenever he cabled down all the way, the ball was probably about like 35, 40 feet away from him. And we're out in the laydown yard in the wide open. He had the main block down, which can hold your heaviest load, and he had the whip line or the auxiliary way up in the air. And
Mhm.
I told him, "Hey, swap the two because I don't need the main block. I just need the whip line down here."
Okay.
Well, I was right up underneath it. I took about 8 steps away to go talk to my foremans, and I was conversating with them on the best way to pick this load up. I was giving them my ideas, they were giving me their ideas, we were going back and forth. Well, next thing I know, I start hearing this banging and clanging, and next thing I know, I look over, the headache ball is on the ground right where I was standing, where if if I would have been standing over there, that would have been about like 150 to 250-pound solid steel ball landed right on top of my head.
Oh my God.
And the thing is, this operator claimed that he had 25, 30 years of experience, and
You didn't see it.
no, I don't see it. Something as
Mm.
simple as that, even even with me. So I have ran cranes before.
Yep.
I know to look out for stupid mistakes like that. Like that's just not paying attention. I mean, of course, you have very obvious things in your craft where obviously there are certain pesticides and certain chemicals that you can spray inside, but you can't spray outside.
Yep.
And you never mix the two up. Of course, there are certain chemicals that you can mix together and certain ones that you got to keep them in daggum opposite rooms almost.
Yeah. It's professional knowledge.
So yes, yes. And that comes with a baseline level of education, and then to fill in that gap from that education is that experience.
Yeah. In my field, we have to have a
Which
3-year apprenticeship before we can even sit to take the exam. And we have to be signed off by the company we are working for. And that's what I had to go through to sit for my state exams to get certified. Yep.
actually, funny enough, several years ago, before I even got into rigging, I was actually trying to get on with Terminex instead.
Nice. I mean, it's an
Uh,
international company.
yeah, I mean, it would have been a good opportunity for me, but I made the mistake of getting straight on with the pipeline, and even as a laborer with 0 years of experience and all that, they started me out with making $18 an hour and $125 a day,
Mm.
and this was back in 2018.
Right.
So I went from making $600 a week in plastics factories, making plastic parts for Husqvarna in Poland, to making 3 or 4 times that in a week.
Yeah. So
And
your plan is to get into a permanent crane operator seat
so
because I'm trying to think of your situation right now. I'm guessing that your brand new truck is pulling the trailer you're sitting in right now, and you're parked on the side of the road somewhere.
actually, no. So
I'm just
I'm
curious.
actually renting.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
renting this trailer.
Okay.
So I found a guy on Facebook Marketplace of all places,
Okay.
and he's renting me this trailer, and it's on his property. It's a
Oh,
permanent trailer on there.
okay. Oh, nice. Okay, good.
So I'm just so I'm just paying him a weekly rent, and
Nice.
I've rented from this guy before in the past, so he knew me, and we
He's
already
straight up.
had that professional relationship
Yeah,
built
he's
up.
good. Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I've cooked dinner for him and his son whenever he was out mowing the lawn before.
I was just trying to figure out the situation you're in right now, because you said there was a tornado. You said you'd have to drive right into it or something. I'm like, what? Okay.
The
I was just trying to figure
Yeah,
out yeah.
so I'm currently in. So I'm northeast of Mobile, Alabama, and I have some friends that are down in Daphne, and they're about 20 minutes south of me. So I would have to drive straight through the storm and all that, especially in the dark and the rain and the thunder and lightning. Eh, the less time I have on wheels right now, the less of a chance of something happening.
True.
So in this case, I'd rather take my chances in the camper. Plus, I got to at least show up to work tomorrow, even if they do send me home early.
Mhm. Okay.
But in terms of, if you're asking me about my future plans and all that,
Yeah, man.
I mentioned before I do want to go union.
Okay.
Because
The
in
reason
terms
I
of the
asked that is we're not young forever, man. Manual labor eventually
yes,
catches up to you, and we got to figure out a plan as you start getting older, and we're not getting any younger. Yeah.
well, that's why I plan on getting in the seat, because
Cool.
I I I've already had heart surgery 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember you talking about
Almost,
that.
actually, it's been almost 16 years ago now.
Okay.
So, I with that in mind, I don't need to be doing all this heavy lifting, or all this crazy stuff, because in order to rig things up, I, I don't know if you are aware of what a sleever bar or an alignment bar is.
I can kind of
It's
picture it.
it, it's one solid chunk of metal. It's a slight pry bar on one side, where you have that flat lip and it's kind of bent up at about a 45-degree
Mm-hmm.
angle, and then on the other side it's a spike.
Like a
And
pickaxe.
what kind of, but it's like one solid straight bar, where it's a
Okay.
spike on one side and a pry bar on the other side.
Okay. Flat edge and a point.
And yes, and in the trades we call that a sleeper bar, and or another slang term for it that I heard from one of my coworkers. They he His buddy always called it a harpoon stick, but instead he always called it the old poon stick. Short abbreviated
I
it
got
from
you.
harpoon.
I got you.
So I've spent the last couple days. I was like, "Hey Ted, hand me that old poon stick." Just try to say it as subtle as I can, which that just goes along with the whole
Yeah.
comical aspect of it all. But essentially, the purpose of that is meant to align flanges and
Yeah, I got you.
things regarding bolt holes and stuff like that, because
Yeah.
you can slam it in there and then you can adjust it how you need to.
Mm-hmm.
Or in the old ironworking days, whenever you were climbing up on steel before you had harnesses and all this other safety equipment, if you couldn't get up there, you would find one of those bolt holes, stab that sleeper bar in there, climb up there, and then you would use that sleeper bar as a step.
Oh, nice. Okay. Now,
But
the one thing, not to divert you here, but the one thing that I love about this guy, he always sends me video of his boys and his family. I wanted to ask you, how long you been married now, man?
So in July will be 6 years,
6
and to be
years.
specific, for the females that are asking, ready to put their men on blast, my anniversary is July 27th, and my wife's birthday is July 24th.
There you go. That's the two you need to remember.
And and actually, I even have the exact date that she and I started dating, which is January 19th, which is also my oldest son's birthday.
Right. Nice. That makes it easy.
Which that does make it easy, but granted, whenever you've never forgotten that date to begin with.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, 166. If you guys go back and just listen to the interview part, I love the story of how you and your wife met, and you were telling me about how about the festival. And let's let people go back and let them listen to that interview. We don't need to go back down that again, but no, man, that was such a great story. I mean, my God, what a true love story, man. That's just the coolest thing to hear stuff like that. But
it's a Nicholas Sparks love story, to say the least.
Yeah, it is. Definitely. Yeah. Amazing Taco King says you're only like 3 to 4 hours away from me, man. Yeah, you're not far away. He's in, I think he's like south of Atlanta, somewhere over there. I think he said the rural areas of Atlanta, I think is where he said he lives. But,
well,
yeah,
I'll try to keep up a little bit more up to date on in the Discord of where I'm at, because you never know who you might meet up with.
When you're working, man. I mean, no one can stay pinned to the Discord all day. People got to work. I mean, I'd love to be in the Discord all day, but I don't have that luxury. I'm out working, and it's if I get a notice, if someone's at me, then I can look it up, see what's going on. But
or or whenever somebody sends you random feet pics and all that.
No, we don't need to get into that part. We don't do the feet pics thing. That's an old gag, man. Feet pics
Remember, if
thing.
you
When
protest it, then people are going to send you more.
yeah,
It's better to ignore.
I would probably go to onlysins.com if you were looking for feet pics and all that stuff. He's probably the guy to talk to with that stuff. Yeah, onlysins.com.
I think he would.
And Sin's going to send them your way.
He will.
He collects them all.
Unsolicited.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He will.
Unsolicited and sometimes soapy.
Dude, it's just it's just great catching up with you, dude. It's no sin. Sin's putting feet pics in the chat. I mean, it's just crazy, man. I mean, my grandson's going to be 2 next week, and it is the coolest age, man. It is the coolest age where they hold your hand. He's learning the word no now, so he's like, my name's Pop Pop, and you'll hear, hey, do you want to see Grandma? You want to see Grandma? He'll go, yeah. He'll go, you want? All right, you want to go see Pop Pop? No. I mean, no. What are you talking about? No. Yeah, it's a great feeling, man. And your kids are getting to that age where they hold your hand and walk down the street with you, and it's just the coolest thing, man. And you're kicking ass, man, trying to make a living. I mean, literally are a working man out there making ends meet, dude. Yeah. So you want to get into a crane operator's job, and you want to get back into the union, and you'll be closer to home where you can make it more of a 9 to 5, or
make it. Well, I probably got about like 2 or 3 more years of hardcore traveling left.
Okay.
Because, I mean, by doing that, I mean, I'm easily hitting. I'm going around the ballpark of about $3,000 somewhat dollars a week, give or take.
Yeah. Okay.
By doing this, so I'm doing that to really financially recover because, I mean, of course, credit card debt is an absolute parasite.
It is a predatory thing, man.
Yes, and if my wife wasn't as good as money management as she is now, because she wasn't whenever we first started dating, and she wasn't whenever we first started, or when we first got married, and neither was I, even though I should have paid better attention to it. But you know what? We both made mistakes. But here's the thing: we're working as a team to build it back together, and I'm doing everything I can in order to get us out of this hole.
What you got to do, man. A lot of people sit at home and say, woe is me, and not do anything about it. You're doing something about it, man. You're taking action. That's admirable, dude. Making it work.
I gotta get it handled. And once I get into the union, then their definition of traveling is going 2 to 3 hours away.
That's not bad. That's a commute.
That is so much better than now, where I'm driving anywhere between 4 to 5 to 8 to 14 to, I want to say the farthest I've been in the last 3 years has been 28 hours away, and that was in Delta, Utah.
Okay.
But I tell everybody else, the farther away from home that I have to go, the higher my price goes.
Absolutely, dude. You got to see your kids. You got to see your wife.
Yes.
I hear you, man.
Yes. And actually, I am looking at taking a job over in Georgia here pretty soon.
Okay.
So I got 2 companies up there that are building massive data centers. So who knows? I'll try to post in the Discord where I'm traveling to, so that so that people can see what's going on. And don't worry, Gator, I'll get one of the mods if I got to do an at everybody post. I'm not going to spam that.
No,
I know that's what
nobody can do it. Only the mods can do it now.
Good.
You have to get with the mods to do it. We had people coming in just atting everybody all the time. It's like, no, that can't be. You start getting, your community gets to a certain size, you just start putting safeguards in. Hey, before I check in with Kingsley for his week, tell me the other money-making operation you got going while you're standing right now over the stove. You shared it with me.
Yes. So what I've been doing lately is making breakfast sandwiches in the morning. And it started out as like only making like 10 to 15 breakfast sandwiches.
Yeah.
Just doing just straight sausage, egg, and cheese or bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches. That has grown to about a 45 to 50 sandwich operation that I got to do daily.
Oh my God, dude.
However, due to drama between the supervisors and the company right now, 'cause I have been running a risk by doing this.
Yeah, I guess. You're feeding people, man.
Well, not only that, I am doing this without an actual vendor's license,
Oh,
without,
please.
uh,
I know.
well,
Such crap.
I know it is. And I'm not charging an arm and a leg for
I
all
know you told
these.
me that you were making a few bucks per sandwich. I mean, come on, man, that's ridiculous.
I know.
That's
I
stupid.
know.
But I thought that was
Well,
funny. You were doing it just for some friends, and people are like, "Hey, you got one?" All of a sudden, your demand started going up and up and up, and now you're making 50 sandwiches every day, and that's why
yeah.
that's why you're on the podcast tonight, but you're still multitasking about in the background.
Well, actually, I took a break from cooking sandwiches today.
Oh, okay.
Not for the podcast, but I cook all my meats outside, and needless to say,
It's not
this
right.
is not the time of the day to be trying to cook it outside.
Yeah, no barbecue weather.
Uh, and actually, the stuff you did see me cooking, I was cooking up some swordfish for dinner.
Oh, I got you. Nice, man. Dude,
I mean, I am down on the coast, so I got
yeah,
ample access to seafood.
that's awesome. Swordfish is not cheap, man. Swordfish is not cheap.
Uh,
Do you
that
know
cost
some
me
local
about
fishermen? Oh, Costco. Yeah.
no. One of my coworkers, he has a buddy of his that
No,
does fishing charters down in Pensacola,
I got you.
and I traded him about 2 weeks worth of sandwiches
Nice.
for like two big packs, like one big pack of swordfish steaks,
Damn.
and then another pack of tuna steaks. And these are not little quart-sized bags. These are full gallon-sized bags
Yeah.
filled to the brim with
I used to go offshore fishing all the
fish.
time. You have more fish than you can ever use. And swordfish and
Oh,
tuna steaks, you don't get those but in those real high-end restaurants typically. And you're gonna pay like 50, 60, $100 for swordfish, man. It's not cheap. Not that
that is
I've
at
never
a
paid for that.
minimum.
Yeah, I've never paid that, but yeah, they probably do catch probably line fish, catching swordfish on line fishing. Yeah, in the Gulf there,
Yes,
right? Yeah.
all that is primarily trolling and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Uh,
That's
every once
fun.
in a while, they might catch one if they get lucky, but uh, for me, the fishing that I've done lately is mainly speckled trout and redfish or red drum.
Oh, red's good.
Oh,
There's limits
uh,
though.
I actually right. There are very strict limits. I want to say down here in South Alabama, 16 inches to 26 inches, and you can only keep a maximum of three.
You catch a 30-inch redfish and you'd have to throw it back in the water. It's just sickening.
Yes.
It's sickening. But
Well,
that could be a mama redfish down the road. So you got to think of it that way.
right. Well, as for me, I actually prefer speckled trout
Okay. Yeah,
because
I've caught my share of that.
how I prepare speckled trout, I'll get a sheet of tinfoil. I'll make like a little pouch,
Yeah.
and I'll pat down the speckled trout. Well, I mean, of course, I'll have the head gone and guts and all that
Yeah.
nasty stuff.
Fillets.
Yes. No, not the fillets. I'm going to keep the body whole.
Okay.
Just the head and the guts gone.
Gotcha.
The fins and tail and everything else, all that staying on.
You like putting it
And
over a fire on a stick or something?
I will make a tinfoil pouch,
Mhm.
and I'll pat the fish down dry, and I'll put a layer of mayonnaise on there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
keep with me,
I might
and
do.
then I'll put on some Slappy Mama seasoning, Tony C's, or whatever all-purpose seasoning that I want to put on there, and then in the innards cavity, that's where I'll put in a wedge of lemon and a large stick of butter and
Oof.
a clove of garlic,
Oh, that sounds good.
and then
Gets
I
rid of all
will
that
seal
fishy
up.
smell.
Yes, and then I will seal up that pouch, I will either A, put it on the grill, B, put it on my smoker, or C, which is my favorite, just put it on an open campfire and just let it
That's
cook.
what I'm thinking. Yeah. Nice, man. Dude.
Like that is. Oh, go ahead.
I know. I'm sorry, man. I could talk with you forever, man. And we talk a lot. I mean, I love catching up with you, man. But I do want to check in with Kingsley and see what he's been doing this
Of
week.
course.
Yeah,
And,
I can't talk all night. I do have to go at some point.
Yeah. I'm looking at the clock here. Unfortunately, we are on the clock, but dude, it's just great to catch up with you. I know it's been a long time since you've been on the show, so I'm glad you're able to catch up with us tonight. Kingsley, what have you been doing, man? Catch us up. What's your week?
Feel free to continue if I have to go.
Yeah.
But as far as what I've been up to, I'll just go with the same topic, kind of like with
it's
car stuff and contractor stuff. I get it with car stuff. Both me and my wife have a Subaru Crosstrek, and mine that's made in Japan is really good quality. Hers that's made in Indiana is okay quality. Definitely has more issues with it.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, things can just kind of vary where things are made, right? It's just really just depends.
It does.
Japanese usually do pretty good with cars, though. I'll talk about work stuff also, which I usually don't, but I kind of had interesting stuff lately where it shows my skills as a contractor and running a business, doing tech support stuff, and super annoying issue lately where some very unique, I won't get into all the details because it'll bore people in the sake of time, but some people's computers were slowing down, and these were even like fast, newer computers. And eventually found out through a lot of research, this is something that like average people, it'd be very hard to figure out, but through just things of talking to other experts and knowing what routes to go down and stuff, found out there was some very unique thing where the indexing of files of like Word type documents gets stuck in a loop that'll slow down your computer, but it's only with those types of documents. And if they're saved in the cloud, because what will happen is when people make edits, for some reason, if they're saved in the cloud versus locally on the computer, it starts this loop race condition. So there is gonna be an operating system fix for it, and I tested the beta on one computer, but basically what I have to do is do this really unique thing that tell people like, okay, just when you're working with these document type files, for now, you have to only save them to a local desktop folder. I mean, they can still be synced to the cloud, but you have to choose the option to keep downloaded, because then if you do that, the indexing doesn't get in a loop race condition. So kind of weird, very, very unique, high-end, weird thing. Glad I have that figured out now, because I've been trying to help customers for like a week now and out of my control. And then at least I can kind of say, yeah, this is a bug in the operating system. There's nothing I can do to fix it, but we're going to see if we can find some unique hacks around it. And eventually people did. So very interesting.
Nice, man.
Type of stuff that I deal with. It's different every day. Even though I always do general IT stuff, it's still, I'm not doing like, computer programming one day, IT the other day, word processing the next day. It's only IT stuff, but it's still very different each day what I deal with. And that's what I love about being contractor and running my own business, right? It's like, I would hate having a job where I do the same thing every single day. And I had that once when I was younger, and I was pulling my hair out. I cannot do the same thing time after time after time. So that's probably what helped me start my business. Because I knew that, obviously IT is something I like a lot anyways, but running my own business, it'll be different every day depending on what the customers need.
That's what I love, man. Every day's
and I'll leave it at that.
Drawn up the way. Yeah, I mean, I know we've been we did the I'll talk for both of us here. We did the first Pantheon event last week. And shout out to LA Lax Rocker. He was my my buddy in most of the partnered stuff in the all the different things.
Feel for you, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Good job babysitting Todd.
No, I said no. We did fine. We did really good. We did good. I brought back memories, man. I remember when me and Mo Hoffa were in charge of that one that one encounter. Can't remember his name now, but the middle encounter, which was probably the hardest of all of them. But that was a lot of, dude. The Pantheon was a lot of fun. I can't wait to play the next round. It's just so cool. I was a little bummed out. I didn't get any. I did get the sniper rifle from the Leviathan raid, but I didn't get any other weapons. I really hope that that there's other ones in the loot pool. I don't know yet. I'd rather just not know. I'd rather just be a surprise. Busy week. Like I mentioned earlier, off air, the family birthdays are still going on. This was kind of the last week. My grandson's birthday's next week. Tree work just got done today around the house. In fact, they were just clearing the driveway so I could pull in off from work today, and we got some dinner and chilled out. But it's a start of my summer bowling league. I just treated I just did a big Formosan termite treatment today. For those of you who may not know, these are the super termites. These are the ones you hear about down in Miami that have this uncanny ability to find cracks in any concrete in your floor and exploit it. And this house had a huge colony go inside an interior wall, went up the wall. No one knew about it. Started eating the truss work in the roof. That, that's the part that holds the roof up, right? That your drywall on your ceiling is nailed to. Yeah, she saw some flyers in her house, called her landlord, and landlord called me. I work with this landlord on other rental properties, and holy crap, I was so surprised. This neighborhood is a year old, and it's already got Formosan swarms. There's been videos and neighborhood videos, with the chat groups and stuff. She shared a video of a nighttime swarm around the lights at night, and it was crazy, man. There were a lot of termites swarming. And usually if termites are swarming at night, it's usually the Formosan termites. So they're very, very aggressive, have 3 or 4 times the size colonies versus, the regular Eastern subterranean termites. I won't bore everybody on that stuff, but my wife and I did go see a movie this week in the Dolby Theater. I actually brought my parents this week as well. We saw the new sci-fi thriller from Steven Spielberg called Disclosure Day. I've been so looking forward to this movie. It's about 2 people who have these special abilities, and they don't know how they got them. They both are working to also expose this new information that's leaked from past employees of this super secret government agency or company or corporation or whatever. And it's all about the struggle where to disclose all this information to the public. It stars Emily Blunt and Josh O'Connor as the 2 characters I'm talking about here. Also, Colin Firth and Coleman Domingo are supporting characters in it as well, and they both did very well in their roles. Reviews have been very mixed on this movie. Rotten Tomatoes has it at 81%. It's actually gone down a little bit, but I agree. To me, it was a very good film. Now, if you're not used to a Steven Spielberg movie, the entire movie is all about the buildup and the big scene at the end, just like Close Encounters of the Third Kind was back in '77. And yes, I realize many of you were not alive at that time. I was just a kid and I saw that movie, and my dad brought me to it at a local theater. Like I said, it was very symbolic, as I brought my mom and dad to watch it in the Dolby Theater this week. Kind of a culmination of us watching Spielberg movies in the past. But, there's a big buildup in the movie and there's a big scene at the end. And I got to admit, man, the scene at the end, I was a little choked up. It kind of got to me. My score, 4 stars. Very good. Go watch it in the theater if you can. If not, then wait for it to come out, probably on HBO. But well worth going to the theater and dropping down the premium money, to go watch that film. And if you watch it in the biggest screen you can, IMAX or Dolby or one of the big screens, the better. So that's it for me. That's all for me. Let's get to a few questions here before we go. We got some questions from our Discord here. We'll do that.
Hey, Gator.
Yeah, man.
Before you get to that,
Yeah, man.
I actually have one movie question for you.
Yeah, man. What's up?
So there's one movie that I've been wanting to watch called The Back Rooms. Have you seen that one yet?
Yes, I did. I reviewed it last week, I think.
Okay.
I was not a fan of it. It's made by a YouTuber, by the way. I don't know if you knew that, but
I know. Oh, I know. That's why
yeah,
I've watched many of their videos beforehand leading up to this.
The comedy videos they put on YouTube. Yeah.
Yes.
I understand the concept of Backrooms. I understand the concept of that movie, but for me, I'm a very clean cut movie watcher. I need a beginning, I need a middle, and I need an end. And if it's just wandering around all the time, it feels like an art project to me, then I get a little frustrated. And yes, there was a beginning, a middle, but the end just didn't make sense to me. And in hindsight, I kind of know what they're trying to express there. But like I mentioned last week, the writer of the movie should not make me come up to the decision of what the movie was about. You're the storyteller. You tell me the story of the movie and make it where I can understand it. And maybe I'm just old fashioned, but I think I gave it like 3.5 stars. Maybe it was good. It was entertaining. I know the critics love it. Critics love this movie, but I'm not as.
It was pretty good, Hawkslay3r. I ended up seeing it, so yeah.
I wasn't
Okay,
as.
yeah, that's.
I wasn't as. I saw the previews. And it's an A24 film, man. You know, if the A24 is behind it, that usually means it's going to be a really good movie, but I just couldn't get into it, man. My wife thought it was good too. I couldn't fathom what was so great about the movie, other than it was super freaking weird. But
Well,
and
yeah,
the camera shots.
It's primarily like the YouTube videos and the small time creator that's been building up to this point, which has brought my hype along, and the reason why I'm actually really looking forward to it.
Let me know what you think when you watch it. Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm curious. Anybody who sees it, I want you to tell me, what did you think the end made sense? I don't know.
It doesn't make sense.
It does to me. It has to make sense to me. It has to make sense. I've seen so many art project movies. I walk out of there just shaking my head. I'm like, okay, it was an adventure. I mean, I kept watching the cameras because they were moving through these corridors all the time. I was always wanting to look around the camera and see what was next. There was ample opportunity for jump scares, and we really never got any jump scares. Maybe one, but it was all about, I guess, imagining what could happen. I don't know. Just I didn't get it.
That one was close.
Oh, did you have a lightning strike?
Did you guys hear that too?
No. Your mic cut out. Your mic cut out.
Oh,
didn't hear it, but heard you cut out.
I guarantee you, I just had a lightning strike within at least like a couple 100 yards.
Oh wow. Okay, we'll keep this moving then. Yeah, man.
Funny on movies, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest thing I see about Disclosure Day says big on action, but light on ideas.
Yeah, it's art. Yeah, exactly, Maddie. All right, let's get to some questions before we leave here tonight. Be right back. Yeah, I got to keep the show rolling. Unfortunately, man.
Absolutely. I mean, I need to be getting to bed soon, anyways.
I know. I didn't mean to cut you off. I unfortunately have to keep the train going. We just have a few questions. No. Nothing really. Oh,
that's fine.
I'm about to get them from my phone because the screen's on the thing here. Get that. My daughter's in the YouTube chat. She goes, "Nice shirt." Yeah, she got me this shirt from Hollister. Ooh, it's very, very nice.
Oh,
gator shirt. It's a full jersey. I'll probably wear it to bowling once the winter rolls around. It's like a nice full jersey. It's very comfortable, by the way. I don't have anything under this either. It's very comfortable. It doesn't itch or anything. It's really nice. So, all right, let me pull up some questions here. Get to some questions and then. Okay. Yeah, I got your text, Kingsley. All right. Let's get to some questions. So we got here. All right. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. 3, 2. All right, boys and girls, it is the time in the show where we ask questions from you guys. And we got a question here from Amazing Taco King. Question for the show. With the final update here and all the quality of life features it brought with it, do you think this is Bungie's attempt to making a blueprint for a future of a Destiny franchise so another developer or team can utilize in the event Sony dissolves the studio or releases the IP from their catalog? This is a feeling I have from a perspective of what developer may use to inspire others to continue their work. I knew what you're getting at there, Amazing Taco King. You think, I don't know how many people in the studio actually knew that Sony was going to pull the plug and they weren't going to have. I heard some people were still working on the next DLC, and abruptly were told, no, stop what you're doing. We're going to, we're going to put out what we got kind of thing. What do you think, Kingsley? What do you think about this, man? You think some other I'll answer first.
No.
First, I don't think Sony will ever release the IP. They own the Destiny IP, and even if they keep it just to store it away somewhere and never use it, companies do that all the time. And I would not be surprised if Sony did that. I don't know if they would sell it. I mean, who could afford it other than Microsoft or Epic Games or someone like that, right, Kingsley?
Okay, well, on the question of Blueprint, no. Like you said, no one really knew except for a few key people. And even if they did know, they weren't doing this to try to have a better chance of selling the game or keep the game going. They were doing it as a last-minute push to just give it a love letter, do as good as they can to put as many things in as they could to do that. I mean, the Blueprint is not from this ending anyways. The Blueprint's from before when Destiny was doing really good, like Forsaken Days and everything like that. So
what do you think, Hawkslay? You think Sony would sell the Destiny IP to anybody?
I think they're going to lock that sucker down to the point where they own Destiny itself. And essentially, if somebody wants to create something else, they're going to have to create something else entirely.
Yeah, because they've done this before. On that point, unfortunately, Sony has a lot of other things too that they've let just die, for lack of a better term, and they didn't sell it to someone. They just keep owning the IP.
I was looking at Sony's what they have stated publicly, maybe in their investors call is where I got a lot of this. The one thing that they did mention was they were going to push their IPs out and expand it out into other parts of entertainment, like we have talked about, like live service movies or live action movies, or things of that sort. I would not put it past Sony to down the road put out something like, like Fallout was put out by Amazon. I wouldn't put it past them if they decided to make a Destiny type space, drama or some type of space opera type series or movie out there. But they did mention that was one of their things, is that they were going to push their IPs, their family of IPs, into other parts and expose it to other areas of the entertainment business. So I was just pulling that document up to look at it. So yeah, that is they very much could use it like that, but I really don't think they're going to sell it to Microsoft or anybody like that. I just don't think so, man. It just doesn't sound like something Sony has ever done with other studios. They shut down studios, man. Bluepoint, they could have sold Bluepoint to somebody else. They just shut it down. They just dissolved it. And it's funny, I was pulling up some, trying to research some other things about Sony, and they were still mentioning Bluepoint. I'm like, no, Bluepoint's gone. Bluepoint's not even around anymore. How old is this data? I was looking at articles. So yeah, I don't see it happening, Mizzy Taco King. I meant mostly on the ability and mechanics they added and changed, and there were set bonuses. They sold Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, though. Yes, that is true. Never say never. You are correct. You are correct, sir. They did, which is flabbergasting to me. I grew up on those games, man, in the PlayStation world. All right. Let's see here. Okay, Dadbod Hero has a non-Destiny question here. He says, if you're unfamiliar with the long-standing MMO Guild Wars, I'm highly encouraging you to take a look at it. While this style of MMO is nothing like Destiny, its community has an immense amount of adoration for the news that a game is coming, a new game is coming. I have given to give credit where credit is due. The Guild Wars 3 announcement was honestly one of the most refreshing game announcements I've seen in years. Not because Guild Wars 3 was announced. Sequels get announced all the time. What stood out is how ArenaNet, Guild Wars developer and studio, handled it. They didn't hide behind vague corporate language. They didn't dance around the future of the franchise. They didn't leave the community guessing. Instead, They sat down and clearly explained that Guild Wars 3 means, what it doesn't mean, and how it affects existing players, and how it will be easy for new players to hop in and still understand the world and the story without feeling FOMO or getting overwhelmed with where to start. More importantly, they made it crystal clear that Guild Wars 2 isn't being abandoned. It's being enhanced despite a new, improved Guild Wars 3 being announced. New content is still coming, expansions and updates are still being developed. The game that has millions of players have invested years into isn't being tossed aside because of a new project that exists. On top of that, Guild Wars Reforged continues to serve as another pillar of the franchise rather than treating their games like disposable stepping stones. ArenaNet seems committed to supporting the entire Guild Wars ecosystem. Imagine that. Yes, I get the implication there, Dadbot Hero. Imagine a world where studios are transparent enough to tell their players exactly what was happening. Imagine being upfront about long-term plans instead of forcing communities to piece together clues from leaks, rumors, layoffs, investor calls, and cryptic developer tweets. As someone who has spent time in the Destiny community, it's hard not to compare this approach to Bungie and Sony. Imagine if Bungie had come out months or even years ago and honestly explained what the future of Destiny looked like. Imagine if players weren't left wondering whether their time investment mattered. Imagine concerns about content progression and the future of the franchise were addressed directly instead of just through carefully manicured statements and vague promises. The Guild Wars community got clarity. The Destiny community got uncertainty. Guild Wars 4 is free to play. I would highly consider taking a look. It's a future with a bright, refreshing, and exciting future. I guess that wasn't a question, more of a statement. But anybody here play Guild Wars? I've never played the Guild Wars. I know it's an older game. Have you ever played it, Kingsley? Ever played Guild Wars?
No, I don't have anything to add to the statement.
Yeah, so yeah, Dadbot Hero has expressed that he's been definitely not happy with the news that Destiny 2 is being shut down, not shut down, but not being updated anymore. And it's basically the franchise is fading away. But all right, I get your feedback there, Dadbod. I want to make sure I mention that tonight. That's it, guys. That is our questions for tonight. I want to thank Hawkslay3r. Thank you, man, for trying to make it through all the lightning storms there. Hopefully you're safe, buddy. Hope you're safe. It looked like for a minute you might have gotten a close strike or something. Was that a close strike?
I mean, I haven't got. Oh, that was very close. I'm pretty sure that was at least a couple 100 yards away, at least.
Oh my God, dude! I'm surprised you still have power. That's nuts,
dude. I'm honestly thoroughly impressed.
Get a good power grid, huh?
I guess so. I was about to complain to this guy why he hadn't set up like Link or something that's set up for all these campers, but apparently he has a really good power setup, so I'm not complaining on that because
nice.
I haven't had a flicker of power yet, as you can see.
That's good, man. Mine flickers all the time,
and I've been under a tornado warning
crap, man.
throughout this entire podcast.
That's nuts.
Yeah,
that's nuts, man.
That's why my wife was blowing up my phone earlier.
I understand.
So I had to
I understand.
Text her and let her know everything's all good.
Anthony Manzano, Todd, before you go, can you read my last comment? Are you in YouTube, brother? Where are you at, man? Is that you, Taco King? He says Guild War 1 is an instanced adventure game. Guild War 2 is a full MMO, and it's a lot of fun, especially being free to play. It's very low risk to get into and will keep you entertained for days. Okay, let me look at YouTube. Hold on, let me make sure, man. I thought that my multi-chat, maybe my multi-chat's not working. What the hell's going on here? Did you leave it in Twitch? Make sure, man. I don't like missing people's comments. Holy crap, none of my I'm so sorry, man. My multi-chat is not working in Streamlabs. My bad, dude. Thank you for the birthday wishes, Mr. Cursevale. Appreciate that, man. Microsoft, he's saying Microsoft should just buy out Bungie and then greenlight D3 because they know the value of the Destiny community. Sony won't offer. The other party would have to come to them more than likely because there is a conspiracy that Sony is wanting Bungie to fail for Marathon not being successful as promised. And yeah, the bug thing is true. They won't allow them to touch it since the update release. Yeah, I know. We heard something about that some speculation that Sony was seeking revenge because of, and we could even go draw this back to past Bungie employees that were behind Concord, which was a big failure, lots of millions of dollars lost. So who knows, man? On YouTube, I'm not seeing your comment, dude. Let me do this. Let me put the chat back in. No, man. State your comment, Anthony. State your comment, man, before we go tonight. I don't want to miss your comment, man. I'm on YouTube right now. I'm looking at the chat. I don't see any comment you made in here, but well, I'll go ahead and close out the show, but I'll keep the chat open, Anthony, if you want to reiterate your comment. Hey, Hawkslay3r, thank you, brother. Thank you for coming on to the show tonight.
Of course.
Hey, you want to give a shout out to anybody before we go tonight, man?
I mean, I haven't really talked to very many people in the group in the last several months. By the way, Respawn says, "What's up?"
Okay.
Hey, I talked to him the other day. I actually stayed in contact with him.
Okay.
But if anybody wants to reach out and message me, of course, I still have the same Discord and all that, and I don't ignore any messages. I try to pop in the chats here and there as I see them.
Mhm.
Like if I get bored and I see somebody that I know in the group chat, I'll come in, say what's up, see what's going on, check in on all y'all. I know that Rodimus was getting used to my monthly check-in because I would pop in his chats like once a month or once every 2 months or something like that.
Yeah.
So I try to pop in when I can, but for the most part right now, I don't have any sort of free time, and any downtime I got,
I got you.
I'm sitting down on my butt or I'm going to sleep.
I hear you, man. And I mean, now, especially after people are catching up and we're hearing about what you're up to, man, I'm sure they understand, you know, you're out in the middle of a rig somewhere, you know, it's kind of tough to get to a phone, probably not safe either. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, right now I'm in Northeast Mobile, so I'm not on a rig or nothing like that.
Nice.
I'm out in the country.
Gotcha.
But for the most part, it where I'm at, it is very time consuming, and I spend a lot of hours at work, and that's very dangerous in my line of work because we have to pay attention to detail, as I've noted on any time that we brought up the subject.
Yeah. Well, brother, it's good to see you. I'm glad you're doing well, and I'm glad you were able to make it on the show tonight, birthday buddy.
Oh, of course. I'm about to say we're probably just going to have to make this an annual thing.
Might have to. It depends on where it falls, you know, because I mean we are a day later, but it's still close enough. I went to Publix tonight to get groceries, and I said I want to get a little mini cake. Well, it's like, no, I gave you some of my ice cream cake last night for my birthday. I'm like, no, it's my birthday, damn it. I want my own cake. I love cake, by the way. I love cake. If you don't know that, I want a nice buttercream icing cake. And then I looked at the price for this little mini cake. It was like $15. I'm like, I'll just get some cupcakes. So I'm going to have some cupcakes after the show tonight and just consider it done and done. So,
have you ever heard of Seven Brews?
No, I haven't.
Well, Seven Brews is kind of like a coffee shop, like Dutch Bros or Starbucks or something like that. Well, you get a free drink on your birthday. Well, I stopped by Seven Brews on my way home from work yesterday because it was my birthday, of course, and they didn't take down my number, so it wasn't on my account, so it didn't pop up. So I went to a Seven Brews in another town, and I was like, "Hey," or I was on the phone with my wife, and I'm like, "Hey, babes, I'm gonna go get me another free Seven Brew." She's like, "It's not gonna work. They took your phone number." I'm like, "I don't think she took down my phone number."
My gosh,
So
dude.
I got 2 free large coffees just for pure shenanigans. I will go to a coffee shop like once every 3 months or something like that.
I
So
got you. Nice. Okay.
got to take advantage of it where you can.
I hear you, man. I hear you. All right. We found the comment. I'm going to post it here on well, actually I can't, damn it. It is from Anthony Manzano, 3551. Todd, what are your guys' thoughts on the new game that just got released based off the 1930s Steamboat Willie Disney shorts? Are you talking about, is this the new Cuphead type game? Do you know about this, Kingsley? Have you heard about this?
No.
I could have sworn I saw something like this at what was it? Summer Games Fest, I think. I don't know. I'm sorry, Anthony. I can't comment on it, man. I don't know. I don't know what game this is we're talking about. I'll definitely look into it, man. I'll definitely look into it and see. But Kingsley Mack, anyone you want to give a shout out to tonight, brother?
No, not this week, but thanks everyone for showing up.
It's been a weird one tonight, man. That's for sure. Native Raider, what's up, buddy? I see you there. I'm going to give a shout out to all the folks that showed up tonight on the live show. I appreciate all the feedback everybody's given tonight. I was just curious what you guys thought of that topic. It's just kind of been swirling around in my head this week, and figure why not? Let's bring it out tonight and see what everybody thinks. So, whether in life or in your game, get your reps in. And later, Guardian.
See ya.
Later.